Hey, hi, hello. Howdy. Welcome back. Welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana, Reincarnation, part 3. I think that's how you say it in French. I don't know French. But we're in France, so. Last time we finished up Mel and Nellie's story. They're gonna work on it. As siblings, as equals, standing side by side, shoulder to shoulder. As they should be. Mel finally did something right. Yay! And we are in the midst of our Door 2 friends, Miss Pauline and Yukimasa. Yukimasa is still a little trouble, gremlin. He doesn't kill people, but he certainly commits acts of violence against them. And Pauline is a little sus that they've been dating a while, but he won't let her spend the night. He admits to himself that it's because if he saw her so vulnerable and sleeping, peacefully, that he would want to kill her and bring harm to her. But she is just like, I'm sus, that's sus, and has showed up at his house while he is out committing crimes. Not the worst crimes he could commit, but still pretty bad. There's gonna be some violence again. No more blood, I believe. But definitely some violence. But we'll get through it. Just a reminder, I keep forgetting to say, but the link's in my bio. There is one for Ukraine. Still ways to help without spending a single cent. And then the Project Q project, helping queers in the Pacific Northwest. November is Trans Recognition Month, so this is a great time to donate to them, especially helping out some of the older members of the community, because queer people these days, and I speak as I'm a lesbian, queer people these days, we definitely don't have it easy, but we have not had to deal with the horrible things like the AIDS crisis and the HIV/AIDS crisis, and how people were treated, and our rights are given to us by a Black trans woman. So it's good to recognize that. It's a great time to donate if you can. And if you're transphobic, this is not a channel for you. I bid you farewell and hope that you can reflect on your actions a little and figure out what's going on in there, because no reason for it. Anyway, let's get into this, eh? Oh, Pauline.
Letting myself in. お邪魔します. Wait, is Yukimasa out? Well, darn. That ruins my plans. Might as well poke around while I'm here. Maybe I'll find out something new about him. Sorry for sneaking around like this, Yukimasa.
Are you really, though?
Only a couple hours earlier, Yukimasa and I had been hanging out together here, talking and smiling and laughing and watching TV. But now it was deathly quiet. I felt a chill in the air as I stood there all by myself. When Yukimasa had a key made for me, he probably didn't think I would use it to sneak in when he wasn't around. He wouldn't have trusted me with it if he did. And up until today, I'd always gotten in touch before coming over. A surprise inspection like this was a first.
I like that he made a key for you, though. That's quite sweet. Like, he doesn't... Hi, how are you? I didn't expect to see you here. How are you? You're jumping into the middle of it. You're in the thick of it. Oh, man.
Anyway, I need to figure out why he won't let me stay the night.
I love this sprite of her.
Ugh. Men. Maybe he keeps all his naughty stuff by his bed but doesn't want me to see it. There's something kind of exhilarating about secretly digging around your boyfriend's house. Now, contain yourself, Pauline. I let myself get a little overly worried on the way here because of that weird voice in my head.
I'm glad you're doing well.
But really, I don't have any reason to be concerned. Here goes nothing.
Her little face. Oh, Pauline, you haven't changed. It's a great game. This is actually the Reincarnation route of it, but it's the house in Fata Morgana. Can't recommend it enough. It's life-changing. It was a paradigm shift for me.
Ooh, I spy a DVD case. Do we have a classic case of dirty videos under the bed here? A gore horror B-movie? Oh, I was hoping I would find porn. Wait, why am I disappointed? I'm kind of surprised. Yukimasa never struck me as a gory movie guy. Maybe he secretly spends his evenings binge-watching splatter films.
Yeah, Pauline, that's one way to say it. Actually, it's so funny. I had a dream about Kohl's last night. That we were transitioning over for like the holidays, and I had to redo all the sets and everything. It was very weird. It was a very mundane dream, but
I can understand why he wouldn't want to tell me, but that's hardly enough to scare me off. Now, if he asked me to watch one with him, I'd probably have to close my eyes for most of it, but who knows? Maybe it could turn out to be fun? Where should I look next? Oh, how about his laptop? Laptop. Huh? It needs a password to boot up. What could it be? Maybe he used my name? Let's give it a shot. Of course not. We've only been dating for 2 months. He wouldn't use my name for a password this soon. Aww. There are still other things I can try. His birthday? Oh, nope, that wasn't it. Alright, what about IPPON? No, why would it be that? I'm running out of ideas. Oh crap, it locked me out! Now he's gonna know I tried to get into it. This is bad, this is real bad. Is there any way to undo the lock? Footsteps! He's home! And he's coming this way! Crap, I need to find somewhere to hide! Oh, the wardrobe! That looks big enough to fit me! Move your butt, Pauline!
hello, Yukimasa. My laptop's open. Did I leave it that way?
Shoot, he's gonna see I messed with it.
I suppose I must have.
Phew, I'm in the clear now. Wait, I didn't think this through at all. Hiding in here was a terrible idea. Now I have no way out. How airheaded can you be, Pauline? If you just said, oh, sorry, I left something here, he probably would have bought it without batting an eye. But you look like a total creeper if you just hop out of his wardrobe.
You could just say it was a prank. Although I would never want to prank Yukimasa.
On the bright side, it is kind of nice to see him in his natural habitat. Habitat. I peeked through the window.
Wow, I can't talk today.
I peeked through the wardrobe's door, trying my best to keep my heart from leaping out of my throat. When he was with me, he always had a pleasant smile, so there was something refreshing about seeing him stone-faced now. Obviously, it would be weird if he was always smiling to himself, but still, he looked like almost a different man when he was on his own. Finally taking my eyes off his face, I realized he was wearing a sweatsuit. Had he been out night jogging or something? He liked physical activity, so by itself that wouldn't be unusual. But what did seem off was him saying he had business to attend to and sending me home if all he was doing was going for a jog. He also looked exhausted. Was jogging supposed to wear you out so much? It would probably take a lot out of me, since I never got much physical activity. But unlike me, Yukimasa was in shape. Regardless, physical activity meant sweat, and sweat meant he would go take a shower next, right? And then I could sneak out while he was in there.
I can't be bothered to take a shower tonight. I need to sleep.
Can't be bothered? And there he goes, right into bed. So much for that plan. Who went to bed drenched in sweat anyway? That had to reek. Slovenly was the last thing I expected to find out he was. After a few minutes, I could see his chest moving slowly up and down. My good, strong, healthy Yukimasa was quick to fall asleep, too. as much as I wanted to stay here and watch him through the night, now that he was asleep, I could safely leave. I pushed the wardrobe door open, slowly and carefully, trying not to make a noise. The lights were off too, so I needed to be especially watchful of where I stepped so I didn't trip over anything. Tiptoeing my way around the door, toward the door, I abruptly came to a stop. Maybe I could just climb in bed beside him. People call me an airhead all the time, but even I had enough sense to realize how outrageous an idea that was. Not only had I snuck into his house without permission, now I was thinking about sneaking into bed with him. It was like something out of a trashy romance novel. On the other hand, we were dating. Maybe he would think of it as a pleasant surprise? That was pushing my luck, wasn't it? He would wake up in the morning and see me there, and it would probably give him a really big scare. It might even creep him out so much he'd break up with me. But still, the sight of him sleeping there so innocent and vulnerable was too much for me to resist. Who wouldn't want to run their fingers along that big back or put arms around that perfectly slender waist?
Me, because I'm a lesbian.
My conscience was screaming at me.
Yeah, but
My conscience was screaming at me to behave and go home. But the primal part of me pulled me closer and closer to the bed. I carefully lifted one knee onto the bed, and the mattress let out a deafening creak, whatever. My heart leapt in my throat, but the sound didn't seem to have woken Yukimasa. I stretched my arm out toward him. With every passing moment, the pounding of my heart grew more and more intense. I worried the sound might wake him up. I brushed the tips of my fingers across his cheek, then through his dark hair. He showed no signs of waking. He was always the mature, older one.
I know, right? Oh my god. So, like, my whole thing with Yuki from Fruits Basket was like, oh, I should have known I was a fucking lesbian because I love the girly types. And I was obsessed with Rain, Haru's girlfriend. And also Akito. Oops. But I would never break Shigure and Akito up. Oh, they're so good. What a good couple. I mean, they got problems, but like, what good writing, you know?
He was always the mature older one, but it felt like we'd switched places now. The image brought a little smile to my face, quickly dissolving all the remaining tension in the air. It was safe to get a little closer, wasn't it? He wasn't going to wake up. My heart rate leapt back up as I lowered myself down into his bed, cuddling up next to him. Oh my gosh, I was actually in the same bed with him. How brazen of you, Pauline. I could feel his breath on my lips as I gazed upon his face. I was on cloud 9, and I wanted to keep going even higher. Rationally, I knew I had to get out before he woke up, but I was well past rationality at that point. In my excitement, it took me a few extra moments to notice the strange smell on his sweats. Something sharp layered beneath the scent of his sweat. I couldn't quite place it, though, so my curiosity would have to remain unsatisfied for now. As I lay there, basking in bliss, my eyelids started to grow heavy. No, Pauline, you can't go to sleep. You have to go home, and now. But as hard as I tried to push myself out of bed, it was just too warm and cozy here to...
Big dumbass energy. I love you, Pauline. Oh boy. I don't know who this is. The twins from Ornite. I would go on a date with them because they would just be fun, you know. In my dreams, I'm drenched in fresh red blood. People dying all around me. Everyone dying. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Not simply dying. I'm killing them. A man begs me to spare his life, so I sever his head. A woman implores me that she is with child, so I disembowel her. A man invokes the name of his god, so I tell him I know no such deity. Beasts have no need for gods. And the pile of corpses grows. Arms and legs, Heads and torsos, entrails and brains. It's all there. It's everywhere. Naughty boy. There she is! In my shadow stands a maid with vacant eyes. I have repeatedly tried to kill her, but she won't die, so I keep her. Grinning, I order the maid to take a body and make a meal of it. She does as I demand, serving me a human meat soup. The maid always wears a smile, but her madness can never compare to mine. I cackle uncontrollably, howl like a wild beast. Oh, I haven't done her voice in so long. Is that all, Master? Are you not going to dismember me? You could try stabbing my face, or my neck, or my stomach, or any other part of me. Perhaps then I might die. Oh, now don't look at me like I'm some exotic creature. A man who isn't a man. A woman who isn't herself. Imprisoned together in a dark, decrepit mansion. I believe the woman to be a witch, but the witch is elsewhere, looking down on me.
Remember that you have always been a beast, incapable of saving anyone, only of taking. Remember and suffer. Agonize. Ride. Anguish. Grieve. Suffer. Suffer.
The witch is right. I've always been enamored with death, with killing. My hands are only capable of taking, not offering. I'm a monster. My lust for blood will always overwhelm any affection I manage to muster. That's the simple truth. Look at all the blood I've spilt. Look at me, cackling as I sit upon this mountain of bodies. Oh, Pauline, what are you doing there? You can't see me like this. Not while I'm a beast, driven by nothing but primal instinct. Stay back, or I might end up killing you too. Though, to tell you the truth, I've always wanted to kill you. With your chains, you bring tranquility to my world. You're the only one who can keep me tethered to the ground. And I can only imagine how incredible a release it would be to tear them off. I need you to live for me, and I long to kill you more than anyone else. But this is a dream. I have nothing to lose by indulging my desires. It's not real, so I have no need for a tether. It's not real, so I can do whatever I please. This is the one place I don't have to hold myself back. Pauline, let me hear how you wail. Let me see how you writhe.
Wake up!
I've been so miserable for so long. Roughing up lowlifes never did anything for me. It only staved off the hunger for a little. The only thing that can truly satisfy me is the hope draining from the eyes of someone who made a real difference in my life.
It's gone into you. Keep us. Get off me.
Pauline's neck was even slighter than I had imagined. Leaning in slightly would likely be all it would take to snap it. I could feel her pulse on the palm of my hand. I could feel every gasp and grunt she forced out on my arms, my chest, my face.
Stop. You're going to kill me.
A wave of ecstasy surged up within me. Dream or not, I was strangling her. At long last, I was squeezing the life out of her.
I can't breathe. Yukimas. Please don't kill me.
At long last.
Stop. Yukimas. Why would you?
Something told me. This wasn't the first time I had heard Pauline's dying gasps. Pauline. She believed in me. She put her faith in a beast and went out in search of him. I cannot allow myself to be the kind of monster that would murder a woman like her. I have to change. I will change the future. When my life here comes to an end, I vow to make my next one better. A fragment of a memory, a vow exchanged long ago. The pieces were too vague to see who or where it was, or if it was even a memory of something that actually occurred. But what did it matter? Why would I uphold a vow I knew nothing about in a dream? For years I'd held back, fought the urges, kept my word. It didn't even matter if it was the first or third time I'd killed her. This was a dream, and I was going to do as I pleased. That was the whole reason I was having the dream in the first... This was a dream. This indescribably lifelike sensation was a dream. These incomparably vivid cries were a dream. No, they weren't. This isn't a dream. Pauline! The fog of my dreams rapidly receded, and my narrowed vision filled out. Pauline was splayed out limply beneath me. For a brief moment, I questioned what she was doing in my room, but quickly discarded the thought as unimportant. Did I actually kill Pauline? Pauline. Hey, Pauline, stay with me. Is she breathing? I put a hand on her chest, my ear to her lips, but nothing. She wasn't breathing. No, how could I? After I did everything in my power to stop myself from hurting you. Pauline. I shook her by the shoulders. I slapped her cheeks, but nothing brought the light back to her eyes. I shouted her name. I shook her some more. I smacked her again. I repeated the cycle who knows how many times, but I got no more reaction out of her than a mannequin. Pauline, please, breathe for me, Pauline. Out of other ideas, but desperate to do something, I started performing CPR. I had no idea if I was doing it correctly, or if it was even the right thing to do in this situation. For as many ways as I could devise to kill a man, I was clueless about how to save one. But I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. Hands that only ever brought pain were now trying to reverse it. Fingers that knew only the taste of blood now sought to imbue life. And I was painfully aware of the irony, when these same hands had squeezed the life out of her in the first place. I blew air into her dozens of times, but Pauline's body remained limp. Sweat dripped from my forehead onto her ghostly white cheeks. With each new attempt to resuscitate her, the bed beneath us creaked like a screeching banshee. Pauline. Pauline. I shouted her name. I pressed the heel of my hand into her breast. I blew into her mouth. I had been going in circles for who knows how long, but her eyes remained murky and gray. Her mouth hung faintly open, but no sound slipped through her lips, neither her voice calling my name, nor the wisp of her breath. This was the moment I had so dearly longed for, yet all I felt was maddening despair. I had destroyed her once again. I had killed her, yet again. I had failed to uphold my vow, failed to protect the one person I needed most, the one person who should have lived. This was proof I would never change, that I would always be a savage, bloodthirsty beast. No, even beast was too good for me. I was no more than a lowly fiend. It didn't matter how many tries you gave me. I would always travel down the same path. I should have distanced myself from her before it reached this point, pushed her away. At least then she would be able to live in peace, as she wished. I should have never let her in. And when I reached the deepest depths of my thoughts, Pauline's throat spasmed. My eyes went wide, and for the next second, she took in a huge breath. A glimmer had begun to return to her eyes. Pauline.
What happened? Yukimasa. Oh, right. I remember now. Thank goodness. You're back to yourself. That's a relief.
Pauline, I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry for hurting you like that.
Yeah, it hurt. But hey, I'm alive. So it's water under the bridge.
I really like the scene because Pauline is as fucked up as him, but in like a completely different way. And I don't feel like the original story showed it as much, but Reincarnation definitely like emphasizes it more. How was anything okay? She'd been mere moments from death and I had pushed her there. How could she be smiling at me like this when I had just strangled her? Why did she not berate me? Where did the overwhelming gentle warmth in her eyes come from? Pauline took a few minutes to catch her breath and collect herself, for which I sat and waited in silence. The only sound in the night was the rhythmic ticking of the second hand. She didn't make eye contact with me, and I obviously couldn't look her in the eyes, so time simply flowed like molasses between us. After what felt like forever, she let out a strained, "I'm all right now." I nodded, and then turned to her and handed her my phone. "Call the police. Turn me in. I'll confess to anything and everything." Her eyes went wide, but the confusion only lasted a few seconds, and her face quickly twisted into a grimace. She wasn't a child. She knew good and well what I had done, that I had attempted to murder her. We were assailant and victim.
Before I do anything, I want you to talk to me. I want to know more about you, Yukimasa.
You want to talk after I nearly killed you? Have you lost your mind?
Yes, I want to talk. I want to understand why. If you attacked me because you hated me, that would be one thing, but that's not what it was about, is it? There's another better reason.
There was no better reason. I could claim I simply panicked, but what I did went far beyond any reasonable definition of panic. And even though I did believe it was a dream in the moment, my desire to kill her was no less sincere for it. Nothing I could say could possibly justify or explain away my actions.
To be clear, I don't want assurances. I don't want you to sugarcoat anything to make it palatable for me. I just want to know the real, genuine you.
Her words cut off my train of thought. It was beginning to sound like she knew that the man I was around her was a mere facade. She looked me straight in the eyes. Her gaze was unflinching, determined. Are you serious? Do you really want to see what lies beneath the mask? Where have you been? Been searching all along. Sick Persona 5 reference. Actually, did this come out before Persona 5? Yeah, it would have, I think. Are you really prepared to cross that line?
It's all right. I'm ready for anything. So please, tell me.
Are you absolutely sure about this, Pauline? Are you sure you want to shatter the illusion of me being a respectable boyfriend? I think it's gone. I think it's already. Well, all right then. If you're really sure, then okay. I'll bite the bullet. I'll tell you everything. Strip myself bare and show you the hideous creature within. And so I laid everything out for her. The nature and the extent of my desires. That I had been deeply enamored with others' pain since I was a child. That anyone I interacted with, I was constantly imagining them dying. That I had not yet killed anyone, but I had done everything short of it. I told her where I'd been this evening, and that it was something I did regularly. And finally, I confessed to fantasizing about killing her too. She sat and listened quietly the entire time. Her only reaction was to occasionally grimace. My whole life, I'd reveled in causing others pain. But seeing her so emotionally devastated, I felt a pang of regret for the first time in my life. This is why you need to turn me in, for your own safety as well as others. I'm barely able to stop myself from killing anyone now, but there's no saying when that dam might break. And even without that, they could easily hit me with a list of battery charges long enough to fill a book. It's more than enough to have me thrown behind bars. Allow me to apologize, Pauline, for all the pain I've caused, for deceiving you into being with a man like me. You deserve to be with a man who deserves you, Pauline, not one who's twisted and broken like me. That's what I want most for you. If you can't report me, then I'll turn myself in. So please, Pauline.
Out of the question.
That's a really good Yukimasa sprite. His sprites, when he gets emotional, are so good in this game. Like the Door 8 sprite. Ah, that shit lives in my head rent-free, to be honest.
I won't turn you in. And I won't let you turn yourself in either.
But then
What made you willing to turn yourself in now? And not any of the other countless opportunities you've had? That you've almost killed me? Which just goes to show how important I really am to you.
Yes, you are, as I said. I'm able to forget about the monster I am when I'm with you. But
Go on, I'm listening. Don't worry, I want to know how you really feel.
What I feel for you is not what you feel for me. I don't love you. You're the chains that keep my desires trapped away. I want you, but for entirely selfish reasons. My attraction to you is completely, utterly self-serving.
Well, darn. So you really were just always going along with what I wanted, huh?
Her response was surprisingly cool-headed, considering I had just explicitly told her I didn't love her. The smile she wore appeared to be on the verge of tears. You have every right to cut me out of your life. I can't give you what you want, and you'll never be happy with me.
You know, my love for you is self-serving too, I think. These feelings, they make me happy, and I wouldn't still be here if they didn't. I don't love you for you. I love you for me. I mean, sure, it's kind of a bummer that you don't feel the same way. Like, wow, so it was all an act, huh? But it's sad. But it doesn't hurt that much. Like, I still mean a lot to you, though. We may not feel the exact same way, but that's so much better than you feeling nothing.
What on earth are you talking about? I just confessed to a litany of crimes. The only thing you should feel for me is repulsion. You need to get me out of your life now.
You think that's not exactly what I want to do? But I can't. I can't just control how I feel.
I let out a gasp at her sudden outburst. No, it probably wasn't sudden. She was just acting collected and could no longer keep it up. And how could I blame her? If anything, her reaction was still restrained for everything I'd done.
I've been trying this entire time to make myself not like you, but it hasn't worked. Not one bit. I desperately want to cut you out, but I can't bring myself to. I know you've done terrible, horrible things, but I can't call the police on you, and I don't want anyone else to either. This isn't easy for me. It doesn't make sense to me either. I care too much just to throw you away at the drop of a hat. And I don't know why. We've only been together for 2 months. I'm even more confused than you.
Pauline, I'm sorry. Surely there was something more appropriate I could say to her. But a trite, uninspired "I'm sorry" was the best I could manage. She put her head in her hands and sobbed. And then after some time, she looked up, wrapped her arms around me, and squeezed.
I've been thinking, It seems like your mind is made a little differently than others.
You could say that.
So it's like when I see a puppy and start fawning over it, or my eyes go sparkly at a pretty outfit. The pleasure I get from things like that is tied to hurting people in your mind.
I suppose that's right. Although describing it that way makes it sound like nothing more than a difference in interests.
Sorry, but it makes sense to me that way. I can't imagine how difficult it must be for you. You have an uncontrollable desire for something our society has declared as wrong. It's not possible for you to both live in this world and have fulfillment. As long as you remain in this society, your only options are to live unfulfilled or become an outcast. It's miserable having to bury yourself like that. It's suffocating. It hurts not being able to share your interests with anyone. You've had to deal with that for so long. I feel terrible for you.
Don't. I don't deserve your sympathy. You should feel bad for the countless people I've hurt, not the one who hurt them.
You're right. That's what anyone else would do. You've done lots of terrible things, and your victims absolutely deserve sympathy. The whole world would revile you and feel bad for them if they knew. You've already got our entire society poised to turn against you. So you need at least one person who will acknowledge your pain. One person who will accept you for who you are. And I want that person to be me.
I used to think you were a sensible woman, but it seems I've misjudged you. Damn, girl, you're dumb. You two have a fair few screws loose.
I probably do, yeah. Hey, I want to propose something. A mad request from a mad woman.
Yeah?
I've decided I can't leave you. I won't abandon you, and I won't stop loving you. So, if you have to kill someone, make me your first.
What? You can't possibly be serious, Pauline.
I can, and I am. I don't want you to hurt anyone else. But if you do end up killing someone, I'd rather be dead than left behind to watch as you're dragged away from me. And then, once you've killed me, turn yourself in.
You're joking, right?
Do you think I would joke about that? Bitch, do I seem like I'm joking? Didn't you say I was the chains that kept you tethered to the ground?
Yeah, I did, but...
Well, I'm putting my money on them being sturdy chains, though I did almost lose that bet just tonight. Once the chains stop being effective, you'll lose control. So I want you to make me your first and last. Don't find a replacement for me.
God, you really mean it. You genuinely want to stay with me, despite what I am.
I do. I can't control how I feel. And no matter what, I'll never be able to not love you. I think I may have my own set as well. Unbreakable chains of love. Even after hearing his confession, I chose not to condemn Yukimasa, which I suppose made me as guilty as him. But that was what I wanted, as crazy as it may have seemed to anyone else. Not that I was entirely confident in my decision either. In opening up to each other, and coming to know one another, a glimmer of hope had formed between us. But how much longer would it be able to last? Oh, I didn't mean to hit that button. What the Would he be able to suppress his urges for another 10 years? 20? What about 30? The more I thought about it, the more uncertain I grew. But for the time being, I just wanted to treasure being able to be with him. That was the life I chose.
Girl, go to therapy. I love you, but go to therapy. Pauline.
Good morning, Yukimasa. Look, I borrowed your kitchen and made bacon and eggs. It's a little burnt, but it should taste fine.
Good morning, Pauline.
Why are you squinting at me like that?
I was just trying to figure out if last night was a dream or not.
Nope, wasn't a dream. Which is why you really should hop into the shower now. You conked right out after we were done, so you still smell pretty ripe.
I distinctly remember attacking those lowlifes last night, so it was all real then. It's only been one night, though. How could she possibly have come to terms with it so quickly? How on earth is she able to act so cheery? She is not well in the head either, my guy. Although I guess it's better than her being gloomy. It's such a bizarre juxtaposition. The normalcy of her cooking breakfast next to the fact that she knows I'm a monster. Oh, do I? Then I suppose I will take a shower first.
Oh yeah, one other thing.
Yes?
You can be yourself around me. You don't have to put on your usual facade.
If you're okay with that, then sure, I can. But just so you know, that means I won't smile anymore.
Oh, that's no big deal. I know the real Yukimasa now. I'll do just fine without the fake smile. I'm quite fond of the brusque, stone-faced you, too. It's a charming look.
If you say so. Thanks. I nearly killed her yesterday, yet here she is, a bright smile on her face. She may well be even more defective than me. I don't know about that one. You wish.
I'm bored out of my skull. It's lunchtime and still not a single customer. When I started, I was like, hell yeah, free money, but turns out the cost is my sanity. Good afternoon. Oh, for God's sake, every time. Well, if you don't want us, we'll happily leave. But we came to see you. No, by all means, bathe me in the glorious light of your love. So you want the usual ham sandwich to go? Yes, please. But we need a quick break before we go back out, so coffee first? And can we have the window seat? Anywhere you like, my friends. The window, the counter, doing a strip show on the table, take your pick. Do you always have to be so crass? You want to see her strip too, don't you, dude? Just think about it. Your girl starts taking off her clothes in public. You can't get action like that in bed. Maria!
Nudity doesn't interest me terribly much. She can keep her clothes on if she wants.
Seems like a weird thing to be saying as, her boyfriend? Was that maybe a touchy subject?
No, I'm quite functional, thank you.
I don't remember that line. Oh, great to hear. Anyhow, you seem kind of different. More tight-ass than usual. You're not, fighting, are you? Of course not.
In fact, I would say we're closer now than we've ever been before.
Really now? We talked about it, and Yukimasa's going to be himself from now on. He still has to pretend to be a good boy at work, though. Oh, I see. Wait, huh? I mean, I did always get the feeling that he was kind of fake, but you're okay with this, Pauline? What? Is there anything not to be okay about? Well, if you don't have a problem with it, who am I to judge? I get the distinct feeling they strayed even farther off the path since the last time I saw them. What the hell happened between those two?
Who writes this dialogue? Well, that would be my friend Gerald. And Alice.
Not that it's my business. I should go make them their shit.
Is it not great?
It's so nice out today. What do you want to do? We could go for a walk like last time, but what do you think about renting a movie?
I'm fine with that. What kind of movie did you have in mind?
A splatter film!
Do you honestly want to watch a splatter film?
Nope, not even the slightest.
She's trying.
I wonder how other people see us. From the outside, we just look like another happy couple, don't we? We can take a walk together on a beautiful summer day. We can go on a date together like any other loving couple, but wrapped around our interlaced fingers. or a pair of invisible chains.
Happy ending? Question mark. Oh, here we go. Woo! Yeah, the writing in this game is phenomenal. Localization team GOAT, truly. I'll be sure to pass along your praise. I'm so excited. Oh, it's time. I despise the irrational and unscientific. Phenomena perceived as miraculous or unexplainable are, by and large, the products of chicanery, tricks that fail to stand up to even the slightest scrutiny. Only fools and children sincerely believe in tripe like fate and destiny. What does anyone find in such nonsense? Are they merely trying to convince themselves their lives have purpose? The epitome of folly. I firmly believe anyone who's fallen for that is destined to get nowhere in life. Which is why, however vivid they may be, I cannot abide these memories I have of events I've never experienced, of emotions I've never felt. You know when you see the tree. You know when you see the tree, you know. The tree causes us trauma. I'm standing in a wheat field I've never seen before, pleading with a girl I've never met. Will you say my name? I ask again and again, a desperate attempt to keep her from leaving me. It's a dream I've seen countless times now, and when I awaken from it, my chest is tight and I'm short of breath. It's a bitter blend of longing and loss, a heart smitten with a realm unknown, feelings that do not easily lend themselves to words. But the most intense of them all is despair at being separated from the girl. I can see her so clearly in the dream, yet the moment I return to reality, she's nothing more than an indistinct fog. There are no words for how absurd it all is. Me, yearning after a girl I've only seen in my dreams, makes me want to give myself a nice solid punch to the jaw in the hopes I'll wake up. It's probably a result of all the stress I'm under, but there is a rational explanation, one which relies on neither fate nor miracles. I keep telling myself to forget all about it, to move on with my life. But from somewhere deep within my breast, my very core, I stop myself. You must never forget. Cherish those feelings, for it's thanks to your time in that realm that you are alive in this one now. Oh. I'm fine. It's fine. Hey, Jacopo. Look at this motherfucker. Look at him. Ooh, I don't want to be here. Oh, for the love of God, just don't start pouring like that, damn it. It's been one thing after another since I got here. I just got this suit back from the tailor, too. God damn it all. As I recall, if I cut through this park, I'll come out at the bus stop. The mere thought of taking the bus in the rain makes me want to gag, though. Such a mood. The Pacific Northwest mood. It's himst. God damn it. I should have just called a cab. I had a string of bad luck that day. I had to stay later than usual to clean up a mess caused by a subordinate. As soon as I managed to get out, it decided to start pouring on me. Yeah, specifically you, Jacopo. Lunch had been dreadful, and I'd missed dinner entirely. As the annoyances continued to pile up, even small things that wouldn't usually bother me started adding to the agitation. And it had reached the point where I wouldn't have minded if a meteor struck and eradicated humanity. So when I came across her, I just consider it yet another annoyance to add to the day's stack. As I was crossing through the park, I caught sight of a shadow in the corner of my eye. In that moment, the rain seemed to slow to a crawl, and I felt strangely detached from my surroundings. I stopped dead in my tracks, though I couldn't conjure up a reason as to why. Normally, I wouldn't have spared the girl even a glance. There was no bigger waste of time than sticking your nose in someone else's business. But something was off about me today. Any reasonable man would have called a cab from the office instead of running through the rain in his brand new suit. I was hardly wanting for money after all. If for some reason I decided to make a mad dash through a nearby park, knowing full well I was going to get drenched in the process. And now there I was, standing in the rain, enraptured by this girl. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Hi. Hi, Angel. I'm going insane. She sat on a bench, no umbrella to shield her from the rain. Water streamed down her face, but still she sat unfazed, not even bothering to wipe it away. Her back was straight and her knees held together, very prim and proper, as though there was nothing out of the ordinary about it. And for a split second, the sight of her nearly convinced me of the same. A moment's rational thought was all it took to break the illusion, but I'd come this close to falling for it. It was like looking at a single frame of a movie, the completed work of art, with no room for outside influence. What on earth was going through my head? Have you ever just looked at someone and wondered, what is going on inside their head? It's just a damn girl sitting in the rain. Probably a runaway at that. Why else would someone her age be sitting out in the rain all by herself? Whatever her story, sticking my nose into it was certain to end poorly. I had an early morning tomorrow, too. The last thing I had time to do was play busybody. Hey, kid. Hey, I'm talking to you. Unless I'm mad at you. And for some goddamn reason... yes, sorry, I just slipped into, New York. Yeah, for some godforsaken reason, I was trying to get her attention.
Are you talking to me?
Her eyes were light, an almost translucent gold under the pale yellow streetlight, and it looked like they could pierce right through me. And her voice was a curious thing. I didn't have the words to adequately describe it, but it sounded like it was resonating directly in my mind. The sound of it was undeniably beautiful, but there was something more there. Like each and every syllable coiled itself around my heart and tried to crush it. Have we met before? What the hell? That wasn't what I planned to say at all. The words just fell out of my mouth.
Who are you? Do I need to call the police?
Look at that. She was already getting wary. What the hell had gotten into me? I've been acting inexplicably peculiar. Just last month I'd run into a tall woman who seemed strangely familiar. For whatever reason, asked her if we had any shared acquaintances. An absurd thing to inquire of a stranger. I was clearly losing my mind. Even I wouldn't want to associate with me. No, that won't be necessary. Please just ignore that if you would. What I actually want to know is, is what a young girl is doing at this time of night all by herself. Foot traffic has almost entirely died down. It's not safe to be here alone. Hurry up and go home.
And who exactly do you think you are? What I do and where I do it is my own business.
I hate to break it to you, little girl, but it's every adult's public duty to keep children out of danger. And you are definitely not 18 yet.
I'll have you know I'm in my 20s, thank you.
Well, you certainly don't look it. And even setting aside the question of your age for a moment, you're going to get yourself sick sitting out in the rain like that. I don't care if you got into a fight with your parents and it's awkward being at home. You need to stop being so stubborn and go back. You're a public nuisance.
Is that so? Well, I'm not a nuisance to myself, so if you're so bothered, maybe you should go home. Have a nice day.
Also, the sprite is so good. The slight squint on one eye, the fuck? Hey, now, watch your tone, girl. This is for your own good.
For my own good, huh? So your definition of being a concerned citizen involves butting into a stranger's business, reprimanding them unprovoked, and then finally calling them a nuisance. You're such a thoughtful, caring gentleman. Thank you oh so much for your gracious consideration. Happy?
You do not know when to shut up, do you, child? All I'm saying is it's not a good idea for a girl your age to be out here.
Well, your concern is a nuisance to me. Leave me alone.
Fine, you win. What the hell ever, I was stupid to pretend I cared. Don't come whining to me if it turns out I was right. They. Thank you. I particularly really enjoy the red-haired girl's voice, because she's my favorite character. That's my favorite voice to do. Jacopo's and Maria's wears down on my throat because it's very, like, fry. Kids these days, I swear to God, they don't know how to respect their damn elders. Christ, I should have never even bothered with her. Complete and utter waste of time. And now I'm probably gonna miss the bus, too. The kiosk is still open. Maybe it sells umbrellas. Damn it, don't just stand there like an idiot, Jacopo. Forget about the stupid girl. I got an early morning. I have to get going. Oh, for Christ's sake, what the hell has gotten into me?
You again? I thought you went home. Did you get bored and decide to come parent me again?
Are you only capable of speaking in biting remarks, girl? Of course I didn't get bored. I missed the goddamn bus because of you.
That doesn't explain why you came back. Are you going to demand I pay your bus fare?
I beg your pardon? Do I look so miserably I would make a child hand over pocket change?
You certainly do.
I swear to God, I'm going to be here all night if I entertain every snide remark of yours. I'm done. Take this.
Huh? An umbrella? What for?
Because leaving you here to smoke all night would leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Why should whatever happens to me have any effect on you? And before you ask, no, I don't have the money to pay for that.
I'm not, and I never intended to ask you to pay me for it. It's just a cheap plastic umbrella, for God's sake.
And you only bought one. You didn't get one for yourself as well?
Don't worry about me. I live in the neighborhood.
But
quit your griping and take the damn umbrella.
But hey, don't shove it into my face.
There, it's yours now. Now get yourself home and quickly. You hear me?
What on earth is that man's problem?
I don't know. Bite him. I want to chew on him. The next morning, it was still raining. The sky covered in a thick layer of dark clouds. It wasn't even rainy season. Why couldn't the sky just dump everything in one big downpour and let us be done with it? Continued through the day, showing no signs of letting up even as the sun went down. The slow, constant drizzle was like my mood made manifest. In the 3 years since my work had brought me here, I had only gotten busier and busier. I hadn't even had time to properly accustom myself to life in France. The slew of crap being hurled at me wasn't helping. I managed to learn the language, but the cultural barrier still stood tall between me and the locals. It's because the French don't like the foreigners, and the Italians don't like the foreigners. So when you combine the two together... That's a stereotype, I'm sorry, but has some truth to it, especially France. At which point you might say, then just go home already. But I was too stubborn to go crawling back with nothing to show for my time here. At the very least, I wanted to get my company off the ground and mostly sustainable first. Otherwise, the whole endeavor would be a failure. Which was why I was staying at the office day in and day out. But the harder I worked myself, the lazier and more incompetent everyone else seemed. The more irritated I grew with them. Drinking and smoking were essentially the only outlets I had for my constantly mounting stress. That's bad for you. You fool. You dang fool. It certainly is crowded today. Oh God, not the Japanese in the background. It's gonna be so distracting. Alright, it's the weekend. God, I can't even remember what day of the week it is anymore. There's no way I'll be able to relax with this many people here. I guess I'll just grab one drink and go. Oh, huh. So you haven't been in France very long then. Amusingly enough, I was only transferred here a month ago myself.
Oh, neat! Speaking of, a month ago was when Maria and I came to Paris on vacation, which is when I started thinking about moving here.
So wait, you're saying you decided on everything and moved to a foreign country in the span of a month?
Yep. Yes, my mom was none too, not terribly pleased with me either, but once I set my mind on something, I usually make a beeline for it.
No need to be so tense. Please, make yourself comfortable.
If you say so, sure, I'll try. You know, when you first bumped into me, I was kind of scared. But it turns out you're not so scary at all. You actually seem really sweet and respectable.
Sweet and respectable, you say? I'm flattered. I don't see myself as either. Mm-hmm. What the hell do those two Asians think they're doing here? The far end of the counter is my seat, damn it. Not that I reserved it, but... I know this place is quite accommodating to foreigners, but I can't stand all the obnoxious tourists it attracts on top of that. That said, I feel like I've seen the man somewhere before. Maybe from a company we've contracted out to. No, I remember him more clearly if that was the case. No idea. But it's unimportant anyway. When there's an open seat at the counter, there we go. Hey, barkeep, one of the usual on the rocks. Excuse me? My bottle's already empty. Then get me a new one, please. I don't remember drinking that much, good lord. You sure you didn't leave the bottle open and it all evaporated? I'm joking, yes. I'll be able to tell from the taste if you mishandled it that badly. The color's just right, the glass beautiful, and the ice perfectly cut. Now, if it only weren't so loud here, it would be perfect. And now a drink to wind down from work. Yay!
That hits a spot. Nothing in this world beats an ice cold beer.
You there. I'm trying to enjoy my drink in peace, damn it. Keep it down and maybe try acting a little more ladylike, would you?
Excuse me? What the hell's your problem? This is a bar and I can drink as loud as I damn well please. And miss me with that last century chauvinism while you're at it. Sit somewhere else if you're gonna be a little bitch about it.
I only sat next to you because it was the only seat open. I didn't choose this arrangement any more than you did.
There are plenty of other bars in town.
And this is the bar with my bottle keep.
God, you're such a baby. Maybe you need to learn to act like a proper gentleman. When you see a woman alone at the counter, repeat after me. G'day to you, m'lady. Are you alone? Then please allow me to buy you a drink. No more beer for you, a glass of the most expensive whiskey they have. Give it a try. I'm still a beer girl myself, though.
I'd sooner choke on my own tongue. If you want someone to offer you a drink, act like an actual damn lady.
Do you ever stop whining, dude? Holy crap. Wait, I feel like we've met somewhere before.
You trying to hit on me now? Sorry, but I have no interest in foul-mouthed, short-haired girls with attitudes. Try somewhere else.
Choke on a dick! Who the hell tried to hit on an asshole like you? I just feel like I remember being pissed off at you. Now I remember! You're the dick who bumped into me!
I can't say I remember every single person I brushed shoulders with.
Well, you were a huge ass to me and my friend. Apologize, right now.
Pardon? The fact that I don't remember clearly means it wasn't that big a deal, so I see no reason I should be forced to apologize.
It may not have been a big deal to you, but it sure was one to me. You put me in a bad mood for the rest of the day, which went and ruined a perfectly good vacation. And the crap just kept piling on after I got back. I ended up clocking my boss, getting fired, and being blacklisted from the fashion industry. So then I decided, hey, I'll start over in a new place. And the one place I was finally able to get work is about to shut down.
Most of that doesn't even sound remotely like my fault.
Screw you. Everything's your fault. I dropped all my luck when you slammed into me that day. Barkeep, fill me up again.
Good lord. Cancel that and pour her a glass from my bottle, would you?
Huh? After all that smack you talked, you're actually buying me a drink?
I'm not normally a man to offer drinks to any random woman I sit next to, but they don't tend to wail endlessly on at me like a miserable banshee either, so you get a pity glass.
Did you just call me a miserable banshee? Oh, you sure know how to piss a girl off.
You also need a lesson in how to properly enjoy good whiskey. You don't just down it all like a beer, you hear me? You have to savor it. Take a sip, roll it around across the top of your tongue, let the aroma soak in, and then swallow. Give it a try. What a whiskey snob. I love him. Whiskey is very good. That's the alcohol I think that I miss the most. There's something about it. good whiskey is pretty banger.
Seriously? Now you're lecturing me on how to drink? Just let me enjoy it how I want to. Yeesh.
Quit griping and do it how I told you, damn it.
Aye, aye, Captain. Holy shit! This whiskey's the fucking bomb! I don't usually drink it because it tastes like sweaty asshole, but this stuff ain't half bad.
I told you.
So hey, is there only one glass worth of pity in ya?
You are one ravenous woman. Whatever, have as much as you want.
Booyah!
Honey whiskey, yeah. Yeah.
You make me want to chew on glass, but you're not a terrible dude.
That's a really good phrase. I need to remember this. You know who else makes me want to chew on glass? Miles Edgeworth. I've changed my mind. I don't want to share another drop with you.
I'm just kidding. Learn to take a joke, man.
Besties. How is it already this late?
Late? The night's still young, dude. You got a wife and kids to get back to or something?
Hate to disappoint you, but I'm single. I have to be up early for work tomorrow.
Damn, you work on the weekends? Well, someone's a busy boy, huh? You don't look like the food service type either.
You'd be right about that. I work at a real estate agency that primarily targets wealthy expatriates, and everyone there is utterly useless, so I'm essentially managing the entire branch myself.
Ooh, I smell a lot of money in that. You're the kind of guy who lounges around counting big stacks of bills, aren't you? Riches before bitches, yeah?
I love her so much. I just want to reach this screen and propose. I'm so in love with her.
Because most guys, when you buy a girl a drink, the idea is to get him drunk enough to come home with you.
As I said, I have zero interest in a woman as crass as you. Are you insinuating you want to come to my place?
Ah, hell no. I'd jump off a bridge before going home with you. I did have a pretty decent time drinking with you, though. Feels like we've known each other for years. Maybe since we're both Italian? I mean, that's probably not it, but I don't know what else it could be. It's weird, because when you first sat down, I wanted to break your jaw.
I was thinking almost the same about you. You don't feel much like a woman, which makes it easier to talk to you.
Damn, you're a huge dick. I'm pretty smoking hot if I do say so myself.
So true. You're so right, Maria. You're so smoking hot.
Whatever. Makes my life a whole lot easier if I don't have to worry about you trying to feel me up every 10 seconds. We should get drinks again sometime. Something tells me this ain't the last we'll be seeing of each other.
I would certainly hope it is. If our paths cross a third time, I can only assume malicious forces are at work.
Yeah, you do your little snarky act. Get it out of your system. Pretty sure there will be a third time for us. Oh, one other thing. The name's Maria. Now you don't have any excuse to call me a miserable banshee next time. So what's yours?
Jacopo.
Yeah, I definitely know that name from somewhere. Catch you later, Jacopo. Buonanotte.
Well, I was in there longer than I planned, and the rain still hasn't let up either. Guess I'll take the same shortcut through the park. Yeah, they're great. They're besties. Is that? No. Hi, honey. Couldn't believe my eyes. A young girl sitting alone on a bench in the rain, exactly as I had seen her yesterday. For a second I wondered if I had gone back in time, but I knew that wasn't possible, which meant she had been there since yesterday. Hey kid, you're still here?
You again. And you reek of alcohol. Are you drunk?
I am not drunk. I merely enjoyed a nice glass to wind down. What I've been doing doesn't matter. The question is, what are you doing out here in the rain yet again? What happened to the umbrella I gave you?
It was stolen while I was briefly away.
What? Wait, no, the umbrella isn't important either. Don't tell me you've actually been here since yesterday. Is there some reason you can't go home? Then ask a friend if you can stay at their place. At least find somewhere you can have a roof over your head. Or are you planning on being homeless permanently? You could try saying something, maybe.
My life is none of your business.
And as I said last time, that's not reason enough for me to just ignore you. Last night I assumed it was a straightforward runaway case. But if there's more to it, then that's all the more reason for someone else to get involved.
And as I keep saying, leave me alone. It's none of your concern what happens to me.
Fine, I'll let the police deal with you.
Excuse me? Why should the police have to be involved? Have I broken any laws?
I can't abide by an unattended runaway, but you want me to leave you alone, which leaves me with only one choice. Let the authorities take you in. Dealing with lawbreakers isn't the only duty of the police.
Then I'll find a different park where you won't see me.
Why are you so determined to stay in the damn park? Anyway, the point is, you can't be here. And going to another park doesn't change that. For the love of God, just go home, child. It's not safe for a girl to be sleeping out here all alone. How can you not realize that?
I am obviously aware of the dangers.
Then why?
Heavens, you are insufferable.
Look at her. Look at her. Makes me insane. She's so cute. Oh, are you finally going home?
Absolutely not. I'm just relocating somewhere without as many obnoxious drunkards around to pester me.
Look at her outfit. She's so cute. She has like a Wednesday Addams kind of feel to her outfit. I really am into it. Very good design. Good job. I know, right?
Have a nice life. I will apologize for the umbrella, though.
The girl gave me a vicious scowl, then turned away and began walking away. I'd given her plenty of warnings, plenty of advice. I'd done my due diligence, and pushing it any harder was a waste of both our time. She could deal with the consequences of her own decisions, whatever they ended up being. It wasn't my business. She was an ungrateful, petulant little brat. I had nothing but a migraine to gain by offering her any consideration. So I just wouldn't. That would be best for my sanity. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It became a mantra in my head. But as my hand appeared to have missed the memo, because when I looked up next, it was clasped around her upper arm.
What are you?
She turned her head back toward me, frowning and clearly bewildered. And I was probably about as equally confused. I could practically hear her chewing me out in her mind about the mixed messages I was sending. You don't have anywhere else to go. I figured she would have already smacked my hand away and threatened to call the police by now. But what I saw instead was a girl who looked cornered and out of options. My grip around her arm tightened. How was I going to finish that statement? None of the follow-ups I could think of seemed wise, or sane at that. But the other option, letting her go and doing nothing, was entirely out of the question. You can stay at my place.
What? Stay at your place? You're joking, right?
Much to my own dismay, I'm evidently dead serious. I have food, a bed, and anything else you may need. It's better than sleeping outside in a park, at least. The choice is obviously yours. However, know that if you choose to stay somewhere without a roof over your head, I will call the police and report you as a runaway.
That sounds an awful lot like a threat.
I'd like to think I'm simply ensuring you get what's best for you.
Alternatively, I could start screaming. And then when I've drawn enough attention to you, I can slip away and head to a different jurisdiction where the police can't do anything.
By all means, I won't stop you.
Well, we've reached an understanding then.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'll go to your place. In the end, it doesn't matter where I go after all. What? You look confused.
No, I'm just surprised you actually took me up on the offer.
Why should you be so surprised when you're the one who proposed it? Now let go of my arm, and then show me the way.
Right, fine. The words came out sounding even limper than I'd intended. I was quite relieved, though, despite how displeased she looked. The reasonable thing to do in this situation was obviously not to engage with her at all, to just silently report her to the authorities. But I'd gone for perhaps the most unreasonable solution imaginable. I couldn't tell at a glance how old she was, but she certainly wasn't in her 20s like she claimed. I was an adult man, inviting a minor to stay at my place. If anyone in this scenario was going to be spending quality time with the police, it was me. I clearly lost my goddamn mind, though, because even in the face of that, I had no intention of rescinding my offer. If you told me I would end up picking up a woman, hell, not even a woman, but a girl, at the park tonight as opposed to the bar I just left, I would have laughed in your face. It's because you're laughably an idiot. I love you, but you're so stupid. I love his apartment so much. I wish I lived here. I want this apartment so bad. Like, if this is based on a real complex somewhere, I want to move there. Thanks. I'm obsessed. He's got the L couch. He's got the cool lights. He's got the kitchen with the little divider. He's got fucking flat screen on the wall. Wait till you see the kitchen and bedroom. They're nice. I don't think we ever see the bathroom, but who cares? Can't be worse than what I had in New York. In my apartment, the girl stood perfectly still, her gaze slowly crawling over the lay of my living room. Was she not used to seeing other people's homes? Or was it just that it was a man's abode? Try not to stare too much, would you? I rarely have guests, so it's a bit of a mess.
It looks quite clean to me.
Now that's the last thing I expected to hear from you. But if a teenage girl says so, then it must be true.
It's been bothering me for a while now, but could you please stop acting like I'm a child?
Seems more realistic to my daughter. Yeah. Alright, you're on your 20s. I forgot. Then I better give you the adult treatment instead.
When you gave me the umbrella yesterday, you said you lived nearby.
Huh? What about it? It is close. Not even a 30-minute drive.
Are all grown men compelled to downplay their struggles, or is it just you? I took that to mean you lived maybe a few minutes away. This is hardly what I would call in the neighborhood.
Roast him. Get him.
Partway through the cab ride, I began to suspect you were actually kidnapping me.
I would do no such thing. As I've told you on multiple occasions, I am not a creep. I'll show you my ID if that will make you feel any better. I've got my driver's license, my passport, and I'll even dig out my birth certificate if you want to see that. I have nothing to hide.
Alright, show me.
Steals his credit card information. Steals his social security number. For the last time, I'm only providing you shelter until whatever's going on blows over and you can go home. Until then, you're free to make yourself at home here.
You're inscrutable.
Excuse me? Who are you calling inscrutable? I'm just offering you some hospitality. The silent treatment. Well, whatever. You must be hungry. It won't be anything fancy, but I'll throw dinner together. No, but you're going to want to get changed first, huh? You'll get sick if you stay in that wet dress. Give me a minute. I'll go find something.
No, you needn't bother.
I needn't bother? What's with the sudden stuffy act? I thought you had a sassy retort for everything. Anyway, I'll go grab a towel and some clothes. You sit down until I get... Hold on. You kind of...
What? Get away from me.
Really smell. How long has it been since you last bathed? Thought the apartment smelled kind of weird when we got in, but no, it was just you, I guess. Roasted.
Smell? As in I stink?
Correct, you smell like a wet dog. It's impressively foul. Shower's right there. Go clean all that nasty junk off you. You can toss your clothes in the washer while you're at it. Never in my life have I met a woman in her 20s who let herself go around smelling like a damn animal. Pardon?
Burn in hell, you fiend.
There it is. There's the burn in hell. Seems a bit excessive, I think. Oh, she hasn't changed. A few minutes later, I heard the sound of running water coming from the bathroom. As off as the girl was, it seemed she at least knew how to use a shower. So she hadn't been raised by wolves in the forest. That was a relief. After checking to make sure the door to the shower area was properly closed, I went into the bathroom to put a freshly washed shirt, a pair of pants, and a basket by the sink. It probably wouldn't fit her, but I didn't keep any smaller clothes on hand, so she would just have to make do. It was honestly rather strange hearing sounds that weren't mine at home. While I told the girl I rarely had guests, the truth was, I never did. I was somewhat more social before I moved to France, but I hadn't made any friends here close enough to invite over. An image of the woman I'd met at the bar today, Maria, flashed into my mind. Supposedly, it wasn't actually our first encounter, but I sincerely couldn't remember bumping into her before. At first, I had thought her merely loud and overbearing, but by the time we parted ways, I had grown quite comfortable with her. Once someone had left a bad impression on me, it was rare for it to ever improve. Certainly never that quickly. Perhaps I could invite her over sometime, and we could chat over drinks again. That might be fun. We hadn't given each other our numbers, though. I doubt we'd accidentally run into each other for a third time, so maybe not. But for now, I needed to focus my attention on the girl. How long do girls her age usually spend in the shower? Unfortunately, I didn't have any sisters or younger cousins as I was growing up, so I had no idea what to expect. I just knew it felt like she was taking forever in there. So I figured I should go ahead and make dinner in the meantime, to take my mind off the waiting. His kitchen! The only thing I don't like about the kitchen is the gas stoves. Or the gas stove top. But otherwise, this kitchen, it's very nice. Not that my kitchen now sucks, but this is better. I guess that'll do. It'd be better if I hadn't added the sauce before making sure I had enough tomatoes. Tastes fine though. Now to wait for the water to boil. Girl! Christ, I didn't see you there. Could have said something, goddamn. Hold on. High fashion. Put some clothes on, for God's sake. That is not how you conduct yourself in a stranger's house. You did see that I set out pants for you too, right?
You could fit two of me in those pants, and the legs were so long I'd almost certainly trip on them, so I decided it was more comfortable not to wear them.
That doesn't mean you can just go around wearing only...
And why is that? The shirt is long enough on me to be a dress, so I don't see the problem.
Everything about it is a problem. You're a young girl, carelessly exposing your legs to an older man.
Ah, so you're insinuating that my attire has caused you to have untoward thoughts about me. You are a degenerate and a repulsive human being.
What? I am not having untoward thoughts about you. I just mean you won't have anyone to blame but yourself for dressing like that if something happens to you.
Yes, that's what all sex offenders say. You blame your victims for wearing revealing clothing and claim no responsibility for your own actions.
She's just roasting. Like, he's tied up on a stick over a fire and she's just slowly turning him.
A man is allowed to dress like a slob whenever he pleases, but a woman must be prim and proper at all times. Is that what you're saying?
Christ, she's relentless. Damn it, Jacopo, calm yourself down. She's a goddamn child. A bigger leg isn't gonna do anything for you. Deep breaths. Calm ocean waves. Calm ocean waves. My God. You make a fair point. It's not as though you're in any way physically attractive to me. I take back what I said. Dress as slovenly as your heart desires. You can roam about in nothing but your underwear and it won't faze me.
Then perhaps I shall.
Don't even think about it!
I'm kidding. I would like to maintain at least a degree of modesty.
Wearing nothing but a shirt counts as modesty to you?
So what is it you're making?
It's spaghetti and meat sauce. Nothing exciting. Just throwing together a quick store-bought dinner.
I never realized a quick store-bought meal involved cutting fresh onions, cooking fresh ground beef, and crushing fresh tomatoes. This is most educational.
Does every word that come out of your mouth have to be dripping with sarcasm? This isn't even close to a proper homemade sauce. But yes, that is a bit big on you. You should change back into your clothes when the laundry is done. And don't you dare suggest there's some deeper, sinister meaning there. Just can't imagine something that loose could be comfortable.
Yes, whatever you say. Do you have any women's clothing I can use, then? You're Italian, are you not? So I assumed you would have a few spare outfits lying around for one-night stands.
Get him! Hey, watch it! Just because I'm Italian doesn't automatically mean I'm promiscuous. He's an adult virgin. I love him. Oh, what a bitch.
You're not popular with women, then?
Why does it have to be one or the other? How did you know I was Italian anyway? We were both speaking French, and I hadn't used any other language in many months. The majority of people in these parts were some sort of Latin European. It wouldn't be easy to pinpoint someone's nationality by their appearance. Did I have an accent then? I felt like my pronunciation was fairly standard, but maybe I wasn't the best judge of that. She cocked her head to the side, seemingly unsure how to answer, which likely meant it wasn't something as obvious as an accent.
Now that you mention it, I'm not sure. I just thought you were from the moment... I just thought you were from there the moment I saw you, and never considered otherwise. How strange.
Huh. Curious, but not unbelievable, I suppose. In any case, yes, I'm from Italy. Are you familiar with Sicily? She nodded. I was born in Sicily, but I only lived there for a few years. And as a kid, I was constantly moving all over Italy, and now I'm here for work.
Do you ever feel like going back?
To Sicily? No, never. There's nothing there, not even fond childhood memories. And I hate family gatherings. She fell silent for a minute, muttered "I see" under her breath, and then didn't pursue it any further. Which honestly, I was grateful for. I didn't particularly enjoy talking about my family. Evidently, some generations back, our ancestors had ties to the mafia, and that reputation still came with the name today. As a child, the other kids tended to keep their distance, hence no fond memories of that period. We lived in mostly rural areas, so rumors spread quickly and mercilessly. This in turn led to difficulty at school, trouble graduating, and even became an obstacle finding work. It was like every little thing I did was being monitored everywhere I went. I could feel their stares, see them waiting to pounce on any slip-up. It was just suffocating. And when I did screw something up, it was all living up to your family's name, I see, from every direction. I had no prospects in that country. They would make damn sure of that. So I left as quickly as I could manage. I'd expected the girl to say something snippy in response, but she stayed uncharacteristically quiet. It felt wrong not hearing anything sarcastic coming from her. But that's not really a story for now. Dinner will be ready soon, so take a seat elsewhere and wait. There's a TV in the living room. You can watch whatever you want. She gave a curt nod and trotted out to the living room. Man, it really throws me off balance when she's not fighting me at every junction. I like the idea of her little trot off. Hey, food's ready. What the hell are you doing? When I stepped out in the living room with 2 plates of fresh spaghetti, I was greeted with the girl staring at the remote, still as a statue. After frowning at it for a while, she turned her head up to face me.
You told me to watch TV, but I can't figure out how to use the remote. I pushed the button, but it won't come on.
What on earth was she talking about? She didn't know how to use the remote? She couldn't be serious. Oh, do you not have a TV at home? I guess you can do everything on a computer and phone these days, so you wouldn't necessarily need one.
I don't have a computer or a phone either.
What kind of life have you had, girl? Christ! It's the 21st century, for God's sake. Are you secretly an old woman? Or Amish, maybe? How do you keep track of your schedule, buy plane tickets, or reserve your seat at the movie theater with a smartphone?
How rude. You can use an agenda to track your schedule, buy plane tickets at the airport, and buy movie tickets at the theater counter.
I still do some of those things. I buy my airplane tickets online, but the other things I do still. And okay.
It sounds like you're too reliant on your phone.
Fine. I'll reluctantly give you that you can live without one. It deprives you of a great many conveniences and luxuries. Modern civilization is built under the assumption that everyone has these devices. There are accommodations you simply cannot make use of if you don't keep up with times to a certain degree.
Not everyone sees the world the same as you. And for all your insistence, I do. You don't seem to be getting much enjoyment out of the life you're pushing.
God damn, child, forget it. Just give me the remote. Look, the red button turns it on and off. Then you push the numbers to change the channel. See, that's all it took. How could you not even work that much out yourself? Yeah, I don't... Why would I buy my movie tickets online when I can just do it there? I would only do it if it was like a huge event.
There are too many buttons. What are all the other ones doing there if that's all you need to turn it on?
Obviously, you need to be able to set recordings, browse the guide, connect it to the internet, and so on.
That's too complicated. Why can't it be more straightforward?
Then you'll just have to get an old-fashioned TV that can't record anything and only has a couple channels for your home.
I can't.
Huh? Oh, I can't? Stopped myself before finishing the question, though. I was talking to her like I would an adult, even though she was still a child, who unconvincingly insisted she was in her 20s. It wasn't safe to assume she didn't have these things by choice, that she didn't own a phone or a computer because she didn't want one. Her parents' shadows hovered behind her. There were complete unknowns in this equation. But if her parents wouldn't let her have these things, that was that. A fact that had slipped my mind until just now. Yeah, do your parents...
The TV is quite an obnoxious device, isn't it? So many people talking all at once. It gives me a headache.
She just changed the subject on me. Well, if she didn't want to talk about it, then it would be best not to push the issue. However, I was fairly certain that was where I would find the answer to why she had been sleeping all alone in the park in the rain. The question was whether I would actually involve myself enough to get that out of her. A question I didn't want to consider right now. Well, we can always change it to something else. There are channels that do nothing but play music, like a radio. That'll be better, I guess. I'm guessing. Switched over to a music channel. A woman with a high-pitched voice was singing to poppy music. I'd never heard of her before. The song was rather grating, I thought. It seemed like something a girl her age would be fond of.
I don't like her voice very much. I think I would rather listen to classical. Change it to that.
Couldn't have been further off the mark. I knew next to nothing about her, but it looked like I wasn't going to get anywhere applying my ideas of what a normal teenage girl was like to her.
What are you laughing about?
Oh, nothing. So classical, huh? Not a bad choice. That's my favorite kind of music after jazz.
I see. And here I thought you were going to whine about it.
I love that they made his favorite music jazz, because it's like not Italian at all. It's also a very Japanese thing to like jazz. That's like a common, like, I don't know if it's still as big, but like, I think in the 80s and 90s and even the aughts, people were really into jazz in Japan, which is nothing wrong with that. I like jazz. Most jazz, at least. Hey, do I really seem like such a petty man to you? Anyway, you're the one who does all the whining here. But never mind that. What I wanted to say originally is, dinner's ready. It's gotten kind of cold by now. You might want to warm it back up. Do you know what a microwave is?
Of course I do. Don't belittle me.
It's a genuine question. I still didn't have a solid grasp on what she did and didn't understand yet. She sat down at the table and stared intently at her plate of spaghetti. Surely she actually knew how to eat it, didn't she? I gestured with my chin for her to start eating. She slowly reached down to pick up her fork, like she was afraid it would bite her or something. Watching her felt like I had taken in a stray cat. Did that mean I was now trying to win her trust with food? That was one hell of an image. Once she finally got the first bite down, I started in on my own. It wasn't cold yet, but it was a step above lukewarm. The noodles were harder than al dente. Far from ideal. And it tasted, well, barely average. If I'd had the proper ingredients, it could have made a meal befitting of the music, but alas, I really should have stopped by the store on my way back. Stop. What the hell, Jacopo? Do you want to cook a full 3-course meal for the damn stray? Like you said, a quick store-bought dinner is more than good enough for her. The kid's not going to be grateful no matter what I make her anyway.
It's good.
What? Oh, glad to hear it.
You look flabbergasted.
I just didn't expect you to say anything nice about it. But don't think this is the best I can do, you hear me? I can make a real, respectable meal, too. I'm very particular about both my ingredients and my spices.
I see. I think this is very good as it is, though.
Oh, you do? Well, thanks. Why am I the one thanking her? Christ. It strikes me I haven't cooked for anyone else in a long time. Or eaten with anyone, for that matter.
Oh, that's a shame. Although I haven't shared a table with anyone in some time either.
Comments like that made me want to ask her about her home situation, but I swallowed my words along with a mouthful of spaghetti. What she did say was enough to infer that things weren't especially pleasant for her there. Although all I could do was guess about exactly how bad it was. After that, we ate our dinners in silence. It was an oddly comfortable, relaxing kind of quiet. Made especially curious, considering the circumstances. I was sharing it with a teenage runaway while classical music played in the background. But somehow I felt an odd sort of deja vu. I knew for a fact I'd never met the child before. I knew for a fact I'd never been in this situation before. But still, I knew it from somewhere far, unimaginably far in the past. The girl's mercilessly sharp tongue, as well as her tendency to turn meek and considerate at the drop of a hat. But above all, the countless times like this we'd shared. After we'd finished eating, I went to quick take shower. Yeah? Uh-huh. I went to take a quick shower, and by the time I was out, it had gotten rather late. The girl was sitting on the couch, eyes locked on the TV, which was still playing classical music. It was a shame the channel only broadcast nature photographs to accompany the music. Footage of an orchestra performing the piece would really round out the experience. But as a simple slideshow, it was more something you put on in the background, not sat on the couch and watched. I believe I said you were free to change the channel, put a movie on, read a book, whatever you want. Look at his fucking tits! They're back! The tits are back. The tits are back. He's got that cleavage. Girl. One day I'll be normal about Jacopo. Today's not the day.
And here you see me doing what I wanted. If I need to watch a movie or to read a book, then command me to do so.
Damn it, I'm not here to order you around. I'm just trying to be nice. Christ. But hey, if that makes you happy, then by all means. It's about time for bed, though. You can use the bedroom. The tits are back. You can use the bedroom down the hall. I'm sleeping on the sofa, so you'll have the room to yourself. What? You have something you want to say?
I was certain you were going to try to sleep with me.
Sleep? Not a chance in hell. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Unapologetically abnormal.
I couldn't think of any other reason you would bring me here and offer me so much hospitality.
Oh, for the love of God, I told you at the outset that I was just providing you shelter until things blew over, and I have no interest in goddamn children.
Oh, I see.
She let out a barely audible sigh of relief, not even bothering to object to my calling her a child. So did that mean she'd just been sitting there because she was too scared to bring herself to do anything else? If that was the case, I could only imagine how rough it must have been waiting for me to get out of the shower. Or maybe I could if I were a goddamn pushover. Don't put yourself in deliberately scary situations, idiot. Don't try to sleep in the park, or casually follow strange men home, or wear nothing but a goddamn shirt if you know this is going to do this to you. Act in your own interests for once instead of deliberately acting against them at every turn.
You're the one who told me to come back with you in the first place, and there's nothing scary about this.
Who knows what might have happened if you'd actually stayed in that park? It's not safe out there. Hell, it's a miracle you made it as long as you did without anything happening. Given how bad you smelled, you weren't out there for just a day or two. How long has it been, huh? When did you run away from home?
Stop shouting. I only stayed outside for about a week.
What? Oh, God, you're one lucky girl. A whole week out there alone. Nothing did happen to you, right? No strange men tried to do anything?
One man did attempt to touch me.
What? And are you okay?
I pulled up my sleeve, showed him my arm, and he ran off.
Huh? You showed him your arm. What's that have to do with anything?
Because I look like this.
The girl quietly brought her hand up to the buttons on her shirt, undoing the top and then the next. Before I could get a word out, she turned around and dropped the shirt around her shoulders. Her back was covered in hideous markings. I felt like I was going to gag at the sight of it. The markings looked like something between burn scars, endlessly crisscrossing lacerations, and something you might see on someone with a rare disease. I had never seen anything quite like it before.
One look at this is enough to scare most people off, and there are none who would attempt to lay a hand on me, or worse. The man assumed I had some sort of horrible disease, and not wanting to catch it himself, he ran off very quickly. So no, I'm not acting against my own interests. I knew perfectly well that I was in no danger out there. See, you're scared too. What did I tell you?
No, I wasn't scared. I had just lost my voice. My chest was so tight I could barely breathe. It felt almost like I had forgotten how to entirely, or I was sinking deeper and deeper into a mire. What the hell was going on? Why was this happening? Sure, the scars were grotesque and extremely unpleasant to look at, but this feeling was not rooted in either fear or disgust. It was... God, what was it? Those are the scars you failed to heal. You left her with them, and then proceeded to inflict even greater wounds upon her soul. You scarred her in a way she will never, ever recover from.
What?
The next thing I realized, I was on my knees, my breathing rough and my hand clenched before my heart. What the hell was that? There was a voice condemning me, reminding me of my mistakes, accompanied by a crushing torrent of emotions.
I apologize for showing you without warning. I didn't think they would sicken you so much.
No, that's not it. Your scars don't sicken me in the slightest. But knowing that I gave them to you...
What are you talking about? We first met yesterday. You couldn't possibly have caused these. They were not given to me by anyone, nor are they caused by disease. I've had them forever, my whole life.
She's had them forever.
Are you sure you're okay? If the terrible marks on my skin triggered a bad memory, then I apologize. I'm very sorry.
What are you apologizing for? That's not like you.
Not like me? What are you talking about? We haven't even known each other a day. You don't know a single thing about me.
You're absolutely right. What the hell am I talking about? Something's gotten into me. I'm sorry. As you say, I couldn't have caused your scars. However, what I said still stands. They do not bother me. So stop being so self-deprecating about your body. Please don't do it again. She fell silent for a few moments, as though in thought, then gave a soft nod, to which I responded with an equally soft chuckle. The tightness of my chest remained entirely unrelieved, though. Had I honestly done nothing to cause those scars? A girl with scars like yours has shown up in my dreams before. And every time I do something to her, I just can't remember what. Why bring this up right now, though? If I told her we've met in my dreams, she would think I've gone mad. That would undoubtedly frighten her. You assume you're in no danger because of those scars, but you need to understand that there are people out there who only care if you're a girl. Nothing else matters to them. There's no such thing as too careful.
You have a point, I suppose. I admit, I was acting a bit rash and without concern for myself. I'll be a little bit more careful.
If you could, that would put my mind at ease. But now you really should go to bed. If you get thirsty during the night, help yourself to anything in the fridge. And one last thing. You don't have to worry about any unwanted contact. I give you my word. I won't touch you without permission. It's fine. I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine. Yep. No. No, I'm fine.
Thank you. Well, good night.
Good night. Say.
Yes? I thought you wanted me to go to bed.
Well, yeah, just, I won't do anything to hurt you, okay?
You really are a bizarre man. I am not concerned about you doing anything anymore. I can't quite put it into words, but you seem different from other men.
Well, yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Sleep well. The girl gave a little nod and then trotted off to the bedroom and out of sight. What on earth had possessed me to say that? Obviously, I wasn't going to do anything to her, but I still felt deep down that I had to tell her. Although I'd chickened out and not said it the right way. I won't do anything to hurt you. Ever again. Look at his bedroom! This is the sickest room. I want this room. This is my aesthetic. I want this. So bad. Except his chair, his desk chair, maybe get something better. But this is peak living. Anyway.
I was standing in a large room. There was more space than I knew what to do with, even with the huge bed sitting at the far wall. Like the rest of the house, the room smelled of cigarettes. Normally I couldn't stand the smell, but it didn't bother me as much here, for whatever reason.
I do want his apartment. I do. I'm gonna kick him out. There's a Twitter account that's like random visual novel bot, and I just want them to do one that's like Jacopo gets evicted from his apartment. It was me, I did it.
I'd never stayed at anyone else's house before, and it wasn't like I'd been planning to change that anytime soon, despite the man's accusation that I just casually followed him home. I wanted to send him away when he told me to come with him. I wasn't stupid. You'd have to be crazy to follow a complete stranger, and an older man than that, home. So why had I come with him? I couldn't explain it myself. Was it just me not caring about my well-being? Was there really nothing else to it? Something told me that wasn't the case, that something else had pushed me to agreeing. It didn't make any sense. He was an angry, mean, bitter man. There was nothing likable about him. At most, he did seem like he would always be honest with me. Finally able to relax, I realized I was incredibly tired. I barely even had the energy left to think. It was probably time to sleep. It smells so nice. 이니오이. 이니오이.
Oh, the tree again. Stop it. Why the music though? You don't even have to do the music, just show the fucking tree, okay? Please. This is torture. Fuck, I forgot how upsetting this fucking chapter is. If I could be dried up and dry, falling down in the blood of my tears, I try to catch your shadow, scared as it flickers away. Show me your face, and please stay until my finger reaches. It's fine.
But you choose what we're doing today, alright? Huh? You want me to sing? I don't mind. What are you laughing about? You didn't think I would agree? Okay, fine, I won't sing. Puppy dog eyes won't change my mind either. That's that. I'm not going to sing. Alone, that is. Yes, you are singing with me. Go find someone who has a lute and ask to borrow it. You don't get a say in the matter. You did ask to borrow that, right? And got permission? None of the shenanigans you pulled at the festival. We need to remain on good terms with everyone if we're going to live here. Well, good. I'm glad you could manage that much. At some point, if we're going to do this again, you should purchase your own so you don't have to borrow one. It would certainly make things simpler, wouldn't it? Next time a merchant is in town, if they're selling a lute, buy it. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. As long as it has strings capable of making music, that's adequate. And if it's out of tune, you can tune it. You can at least manage that, can't you?
I remember the days. I remember the days we passed. It's fine.
That night, I had a strange dream. Fields of wheat, a lute, our homeland. I'd never seen a field like that before, at least not outside of photos. That said, it felt as though it had been forever since I'd slept soundly enough to dream. I almost wanted to go back to sleep, even though it was already morning. Maybe I would be able to see more of the dream if I did. It was bizarre. Something felt familiar about the field, though I was positive I had never been there in my life. It was an incredibly warm, happy dream, but somehow also deeply sad. And who was that in the dream with me?
I got undressed. I almost said brushed my face. Washed my face, brushed my teeth, and made breakfast. It was about time to head out to work. I assumed she would have been up by now, but the girl had yet to emerge from my room. Why the hell am I waiting for her when leaving a note would more than suffice? Well, no, it'd be fine for me, but less so for her waking up all alone in a stranger's house. But I can't just go into the room and check on her either. What if she's in there changing? Why am I wasting time worrying about this at all? This is my apartment. She's in my room. I have every right to go in there. If she has a problem with it, well, it's her fault for sleeping so damn long. Alright, time to drag her ass out of bed. Hey, it's me. I'm coming in. But not for any uncouth reasons. You hear me? It's just breakfast is going to get cold and gross if...
And what are you doing standing in front of my door?
Christ, give me a little warning, child. What are you, a ghost? You didn't make a damn peep.
Perhaps you need your eyes checked. As you can see, I have two very real legs.
That you do, yes. Well, anyway, I thought you would be more of an early riser. I'm not trying to get on your case or anything. I'm just glad you seem to have slept well. Was the bed comfortable?
It was strange.
Strange? In what sense?
It smelled like a wet dog.
What? Hold on, I know I washed those sheets. Are you trying to imply that I stink?
Consider it payback for last night. Burn in hell, motherfucker.
I really got under her skin, huh? I do think I spotted a smile on her just now, though. Maybe I'm imagining it, but she seems a bit more affable than last night.
May I ask why you're staring at me?
No reason. Breakfast is ready and I have to head to work soon.
But it's Saturday. Are you bad at your job?
No, stupid. The opposite. I have to do 3 times as much work as everyone else because they're all incompetent.
Is that so? At school you have to do extra work if you do poorly, so I assumed you were the incompetent one.
I see that mouth of yours doesn't need any time to warm up in the morning. Now, I have to be going. You can, do whatever you want. You're free to leave if you wish, or stay here.
I assumed you were going to chase me out.
And deal with you lurking around the park again? No, thank you.
So am I supposed to just say, have a nice day now or something?
I mean, you could if you wanted to. I'm not going to make you do anything, though.
Well, in that case, I will send you off with a little something. Never come back. My house.
You little... What the hell's your problem?
I get the whole apartment to myself if you don't come back.
Where do you find room for all that cheek in such a tiny body? I swear you've somehow gotten even worse than last night. Christ almighty. Okay, I'm going to work.
Farewell.
It was a bright sunny morning, not a trace of the bleak rain from the night before. I hadn't paid much mind to the outside in recent months, but it was almost shockingly nice out today. Slightly dewy morning breeze tickled my cheeks. The leaves on the trees along the road were so intensely green they seemed otherworldly. Everything's so fucking green. Going straight to the office would just make this into just another day, so I took a seat on the set of stairs on the way to the bus stop and had a smoke. Watching the silver strands dance up into the blue sky, my mind once again drifted to the girl. I said she could stay if she wanted, but how long could I really keep her in my care? If I wanted to do what was best for her, well, there were organizations much better equipped to deal with her situation than a single man. I shouldn't be letting her get comfortable. When I took her in, I assumed her reason for running away was something trivial, like a spat with her parents. But considering how utterly clueless she seemed about even the simplest things last night, I was beginning to suspect her situation was more complicated than I'd first imagined. And also, she has the fucking scars, my guy. So yeah. Dedoy. Was hers a broken home? Or was there something even worse going on? And unless I wanted to risk making things worse, I couldn't offer any advice without more information. So the smart thing to do was sit back and see how things played out. It probably wouldn't be fun for me either. If her parents found out about this, I could very well end up in jail. Which meant it really wasn't all that smart after all, huh? I had to wonder, would I be doing the same for anyone, not just her? Probably not, no. I couldn't say why, but I suspected the only reason I was bothering at all was because of who she was. I wanted to do what I could to help her. It made no sense either. I couldn't make a damn cent off helping her. She was just an obnoxious child, not even fit for work. You know, I never did get her name, did I? Slipping out of thought, I realized I was at the end of my 3rd cigarette. So much for a smoke. The sky was still immensely clear, the air sweet and fresh, the morning beautiful. This all suddenly feels like a giant waste of time. Is work really so important that I have to drag myself out on a day this nice? Screw it, I'm taking the day off. I turned around, made my way back home, and found the girl in the living room. Evidently startled by the sound of the door opening, she'd hidden herself behind a column and was peeking out at me. She'd looked so much like a cat on high alert that I couldn't hold back a chuckle. Seeing it was me at the door, the girl stepped out of the shadows and gave me a fierce glare.
Is your job something you can complete in less than an hour?
So damn good I can finish a full day's work in only 30 minutes. Jokes aside, I decided not to go in today.
And you can just decide not to go in on a whim like that?
I'm really going back to a normal work week after sacrificing weekends for the pay and advancement opportunities. Of course, now it's just assumed I'll always be there, which means it's going to be hell when I do go back in. That's so real. That's too real, actually.
And what are you planning to do with this extra time you now have?
Well, I don't know. Do you want to go for a walk?
Together?
So you don't get the wrong idea, I did not take the day off because I was worried about you. I merely felt it would be a waste to go in to work on such a nice day. I'm only inviting you because you happen to be here on the day I happen to take off. I'll be going shopping while I'm out as well. But it's not good for you to stay holed up inside all day. It's important to get a little sun sometimes. Especially you, because you look like a damn ghost. Do you get out at all?
I got enough sun for a lifetime while I was staying in the park. And I'm naturally pale. That's all there is to it. If you want to go for a walk, by all means go for a walk.
Can't say I didn't expect that. Alright then, I'll be back in a bit.
I never said I wouldn't come with you.
Huh? You say something?
I said you were free to go, but I never said it had to be alone. You said you were going shopping, right? I'll help carry the bags. Why are you giving me that look?
No reason. Just admiring how hard you're trying to avoid saying you want to go. You'll help carry the bags, will you? How fascinating.
Oh, please. You're one to talk about trying too hard. So you don't want to get the wrong idea. I'm merely helping as thanks for yesterday. I have absolutely no interest in going on a walk with you.
They're the worst. They're the worst. Everything's opposite day with them. Yeah, you're not interested. I hear you. Let's get going then, shall we?
Ugh, I should have just let you go alone.
I couldn't remember the last time I walked with someone for something other than work. My natural walking speed was a good deal faster than hers, so if I wasn't careful, I was likely to end up leaving her behind. I had to make an effort to reduce my pace to match hers, which turned out to be much more difficult than I would have imagined. But curiously, it wasn't an aggravating kind of difficulty. It was an entirely new experience, and kind of enjoyable for it. Christ, my whole world seemed to be flipped on its head. You know, I never did get the chance to ask. Do you live in Paris too?
No, a little south of here.
Ah, that narrows it down. Whatever, I'm not going to pry. So I take it you're not terribly familiar with Paris then? In which case, I can show you around some while we walk. Despite her insistence she was only going to help me with my shopping, the girl made no objections to the detour. First, I took her to the Champs-Élysées, one of 12 avenues that meet at the Arc de Triomphe. I don't know. Perhaps the most recognizable monument in all Paris. You think that's the most Oh my god. You think that's the most recognizable? The motherfucking Eiffel Tower exists. I hate this guy. He's so Italian, it kills me. The Arc, constructed in the neoclassical style, sits at the center of the Place Charles de Gaulle, formerly known as the Place de l'Étoile. Sid, I'm really sorry I'm botching all this French. As we approach the Arc, its full proper name, the Arc de Triomphe de l'Étoile. I am really sorry, I don't speak any French, and I'm very bad at reading it. If it was Italian or anything else, I'd be okay. I decided to tell her a bit about its history. The monument was commissioned by Napoleon to commemorate his victory in the Battle of Austerlitz, which took place not far from a town now known as Brna in the Czech Republic. What is Slavkov? I told you Slavic. Slavkov in Brna. However, its construction was a rather troubled process, and he did not end up living long enough to see it completed. After a few minutes, I realized I was just rattling off on important trivia and probably boring the girl to death. Much to my surprise, she was listening quite intently. She seemed, against all odds, to have actually been enjoying our sudden sightseeing tour. But when I asked if she wanted to climb the Ark, she gave me a disapproving glare and muttered, "I prefer quiet places." I made things quite difficult, as Paris was always teeming with tourists. Our options were either to head somewhere on the outskirts of the city, or find a small park tucked away somewhere where tourists were unlikely to stumble upon. Maybe that was why she had chosen that park to stay in. So instead of going anywhere in particular, we just wandered around the city a bit, stopping by to look at a few of the churches we passed. Jesus, you don't talk at all, do you, child? Never in my life have I seen a girl look so damn forlorn while sightseeing in Paris.
If you want a conversational partner, then find someone else to invite on your walks. Besides, it's not like you say anything of value either. You're just griping all the time.
That was not a gripe, it was a casual observation.
Ah yes, very casual indeed. So where are we going next?
Is there anything you want to see? I might be willing to consider it if you ask nicely.
There you go again. Always so insufferably haughty. I don't even know what there is to see, honestly. As long as it's someplace quiet, I don't care where we go.
You keep saying that, but I don't think there is any such thing as a quiet tourist attraction. Even historical monuments are usually swarmed with dumb teens making stupid faces into their phone cameras.
You act like that's the only option, but I never said I wanted to go sightseeing.
Then what do you want to do? It doesn't have to be anything specific. Just give me something to work with.
Nothing really. This whole thing has just been you dragging me around the city, so you decide what you want to do.
Oh, for God's sake, you could try showing a little appreciation. I'm doing this all for you, you realize. Here I am using my day off to show you around and you look like you're at a goddamn funeral. Maybe act like you're enjoying it for 1 minute.
Why should I have to act like I'm enjoying myself when I never once asked you to drag me to a bunch of tourist traps? That was all you.
Yeah, you're right. It was all me. I dragged you out here with no consideration for you, and I'm very sorry. There, you happy? Christ, don't give me that look. I didn't take you out to get mad at you. I just wanted to do something that might be fun for you. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Eesh, let's call it a day and head home already. God, I don't know what got into me, but I'd never do this normally. What? You have something you want to say? Go right ahead, bitch me out as much as you want.
Oh no, not at all. I'm just, well...
Didn't expect your stomach to finish your sentence for you. I really like that sprite of his, it's very soft.
Come on, don't laugh. I didn't do it on purpose. Normally I'm more careful about...
Yeah, I hear you. You wouldn't let yourself go so long without eating. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was already midday. Of course, you're not going to be able to come up with somewhere you want to go on an empty stomach. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll just inhale fucking fuzzy. I'll get us a reservation at a nice Italian restaurant and...
Please. It doesn't have to be anything fancy like that, really.
An Italian restaurant's no fancier than anywhere else I would take you. What, are you worried about how much money it'll cost? You're a kid. Leave the money concerns to the adults.
I am not a kid.
Right, you're in your 20s. How quickly I forget. Then as an adult woman, you should know it's your place to let the man pay for your meal. You hear me?
Weren't you just saying we were going to head back home, though?
That was the plan until your stomach objected. And if you're that hungry, we should go eat now rather than wait for you to starve in the time it takes to go shopping, get home, and make something.
I'm not going to starve. Oh, fine. All right, I'll go wherever. Can't decide what to do, can't decide how to act. You're rather indecisive, aren't you? Can we please go somewhere small, at least? I don't really do well in places with lots of people.
Is that so? You certainly are a strange child. Well, I don't mind either way. But what are our options for smaller establishments, even? Wait. What indeed? Right as I was about to say we wouldn't find something without a bit of looking, I caught sight of a sign in the little alleyway. It was a cafe, so far out of the way as to be nigh unnoticeable. Perhaps they simply couldn't secure a better location. Paris was a war ground, after all. It was going to be near impossible for them to draw in customers. And for that reason, exactly the kind of place the girl was looking for. After asking if she wanted to check it out, we turned into the quiet alleyway. On the sign outside the cafe was a handwritten lunch menu. Nothing about it drew the eye at all. I wondered if they even wanted to attract customers. Through the window, I could see a single waitress sitting with her elbows on the counter and her chin resting in her hand. The lighting was poor and the decor several decades outdated, and not in a classy vintage way, but poor anachronistic taste. And above all, it was barren. At lunch, on a weekend, when it should be at its busiest. Frankly, on my own, I would have never given the place a second look. Clearly something must have been wrong with it for no one to be there. Perhaps the food was dreadful in addition to the poor aesthetic sense, or maybe the coffee was undrinkable sludge. I was getting ready to turn around and look for somewhere else when...
Let's eat here. It's quiet and there's nobody around.
And then she marched straight into the cafe, paying me no heed. Get him. Get him. Sick him.
Afternoon.
The waitress sounded like she would rather be anywhere but here. Hardly an attitude befitting of someone of the food service industry. There's still time to turn back. Find a place that serves food suitable for human consumption.
The hell, man? Customer or not, you can't just walk in here and trash a place like... Wait, holy shit! You're the dick from yesterday!
The waitress stepped out from behind the counter, slack-jawed. I imagined I was making a similarly ridiculous face. It was the woman I'd shared drinks with last night. I never would have imagined this is where you worked.
Talk about one hell of a coincidence. I told you we'd cross paths again. I didn't think it'd be this soon. But wait, didn't you say you had work today? Ah, you got shit canned. Poor thing.
I did not. I simply took the day off. I'm not some incompetent, replaceable drone. They can't just shit can me like anyone else.
The kind of dude who thinks he's irreplaceable is always the most replaceable. Watch your back. You never know when they could be coming for you.
This damned woman. Maria let out a little cackle and then turned her gaze toward the girl. Her eyes were slightly wider than usual, evidently surprised I knew the woman.
Who's she? You don't look like siblings, so cousin? Niece, maybe?
We're not exactly family, but...
We first met 2 days ago, then yesterday he took me home with him.
You little... Are you trying to make me sound like... And now Maria's looking at me like I'm human garbage.
Officer! This man kidnapped a little girl.
Ah, God damn it! Stop yelling, you imbecile! And that's how I ended up temporarily taking her into my custody. I'm neither a kidnapper nor a pedophile. Understood?
I get the gist, even if I don't quite follow your reasoning.
I had the gist sat at a table. Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, God. I had the girl sit at a table by the window, then brought Maria to the back of the cafe and explained how I'd ended up in the situation. While still visibly skeptical, she didn't look like she was going to call the police as soon as I turned my back anymore. I now knew what it felt like to have my life be hanging by a thread. Christ, what did I do to deserve this?
She's a runaway, though. Shouldn't you have called the police and let them deal with her? Actually, you know what? Forget that. I'm sure you went down that path plenty on your own. Just try to get out before things get any hairier for you.
That's the idea. A few days I'll either make her go back home or hand her off to the authorities.
Good plan. You're not stupid, I don't think, so it figures you'd have something like that worked out.
Assuming it does work out, that is. I don't seem to be quite myself when it comes to the girl. I would never do any of this under any other circumstances.
That said, do be nice to the girl while you got her around. She didn't run away because her life was great.
Are you implying I'm treating her unkindly?
I'd be surprised if that wasn't the case. I mean, you're short-fused and get bitchy and start yelling about the most trivial things.
Don't try to act like you know me. She's exactly right, though, and I'm aware of how bad about that I can be. Be nice to the girl. Hey, have we had this conversation before?
What? The first time we spoke was yesterday. Of course we haven't.
Yeah, right. You're right. Sorry.
Alright, well, you get back out there. Can't keep the princess waiting too long.
Christ, princess? She was anything but. No, she's baby, Your Honor.
Were you able to sort things out with her?
With some difficulty, yes. I'd rather you didn't deliberately invite misunderstanding like that.
What's to misunderstand? Every word of it was the truth.
Oh, Morgana. Context, girl, context! What if she had called the police on me?
Well, that would be quite unfortunate for you.
I swear to God, child, after everything I've done for you, you can't even scrounge together a scrap of consideration or gratitude? I was just warned about being nice to her. It hasn't even been 5 minutes and I've already snapped. Anyway, what do you want to eat? You can ask for anything at all, whatever you want.
Oh, then how about a sandwich?
You don't want anything more? Some cake, a drink? Throw on as much as you want, seriously.
What? Okay, now you're creeping me out. Why the sudden friendly act? What are you scheming?
I'm not scheming anything. This is why I don't try to be nice.
Man, for an Italian, you sure are worthless when it comes to women. You sure you actually got the right race there?
Maybe he's gay. Positive, damn it. Whatever, I don't expect anything good out of this hole in the wall. So just bring a few plates of whatever the hell you feel like.
That really how you want to talk to the girl who's going to be making your food?
Prove me wrong. A restaurant has food worth its salt also goes to the effort of looking the part. That's just how it is. Now look at this place. The furnishings don't match. There's no consistency. Not a shred of aesthetic sense. Not attracting customers means no revenue. No revenue means no money with which to purchase quality ingredients. A straight path to failure.
Shut up already. I'm tired of all your bitching. There's nothing I can do about it, okay? The owner's this old fart who refuses to replace anything because it all has sentimental value to him. I'm not the one who decorated.
Yeah, I see. So the cafe is just an elderly man's pastime. That explains it. To some degree, at least. I'm surprised you would choose to work at a place like this, though.
Hey, he pays me and treats me well. The place might look like crap, but it's a living. Only real issues are I might die of boredom and the place could shut down on me any day. Not because we're not getting customers, but because the owner's getting up there in age, so... but enough about me. As you requested, I'll get you a plate of whatever and prepare something absolutely exquisite for the girl. Back in a few.
It's called discrimination, you do realize.
You're quite close. Have you two known each other very long?
Nope, I didn't know she existed until yesterday. She says I bumped into her once before, but I don't remember it. Whoa, why the stink eye? What, do you think I'm a player or something? Sure, I both drank with her and brought you home last night, which doesn't make me look very good on its own. But yesterday was nothing but one exceptional circumstance after the other. I've never hit it off with someone like that after only one day. God damn it, why am I making excuses for myself to this girl?
I was merely shocked to discover you had made a friend after only one day. I didn't realize you were capable of being social. Or making friends at all, even.
That's rich coming from you. Besides, I had plenty of friends when I was living in Italy. My social life just took a hit after moving here.
Then I'm happy for you. She seems like a nice girl.
Well, I largely agree with your assessment. You should try making friends with her, too. Knowing her could come in handy. You know, if something ever comes up.
You have a point. I'll consider it.
Maybe because she's a girl, too, but she's a lot more receptive of Maria than me. Maybe I'd have more luck getting through to her using Maria instead of having to fight her tooth and nail over everything. She'd probably be willing to open up more to her as well.
What you doing? Talking about me, are ya?
God, don't sneak up on me like that. But that was fast. Is our food ready?
I'm just bringing you your drinks. Here you are, some instant coffee. And for you, sweet little thing, I made some herbal tea with the highest quality chamomile leaves. Chamomile? Chamomile leaves that we have.
I hate that word. Try to be a little more subtle with your favoritism.
Herbal tea with chamomile. Oh, you not a fan? Yeah, chamomile can be a bit of an acquired taste. Want me to grab you something else? No, I'll have this. I'm rather fond of it, in fact. I think. Not that I've had chamomile tea before, but kind of reminds me of days long past.
Huh? It reminds you of something you never done before? I think that's called deja vu, you silly girl. Anyway, sounds good to me. I'll throw some cookies in too, so you're not just sipping tea. We got plenty, so feel free to give me a shout if you want more. Same goes for you if you want anything else, alright? Don't worry about coming off as rude or greedy. That's what being a kid's all about.
You should know the girl hates being called a kid. I hope you enjoyed dealing with her death glare and insistence that she's actually an adult.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate your generosity.
What a sweet girl! I can't believe you're the same girl Jacopo was over there whining at me about. He's clearly broken in the brain.
What the hell? She's never this well behaved when it's just me.
Alright, well, I've got some food to make. Should be out pretty quick, but I'll warn you in advance. Don't expect anything super fancy from a teensy little cafe.
She's a very cheerful and energetic woman.
She's not energetic. She's just loud. And I thought you didn't like people like her anyway.
Usually they make me uncomfortable, but hers is a pleasant energy.
Not what I'd call it. I guess I am going to have to consider asking Maria for help after all. Hey.
Yes?
She didn't have to force herself to stay with me. She could always put herself under Maria's care instead. It would probably be less awkward for her there, too. I could even propose it to her myself if she didn't feel comfortable. I knew what I should say to her, but the words wouldn't come out. The idea of leaving her in someone else's care was repulsive to me on a deeply base level. And I had no idea why. Where the hell were these feelings even coming from? I barely even knew the damn girl. Why should I care so much? It didn't matter who looked after her. And in fact, she would be better off with someone else. And I felt as though if I let go of her and trusted her to someone else, then we would never be this close again. Wait, we would never be this close ever again? That made it sound like I wasn't caring for her because she needed it. But instead using her problems as a way to prop myself up. Some sick surge for self-satisfaction.
What is it? You were going to say something and then...
Oh, right, sorry. I was thinking about something and lost my train of thought. Probably wasn't important anyway.
The look on your face suggested otherwise, but okay.
Forget about it. Honestly, it was nothing. Now, what I'd really like to talk about is you. I think it's about time you filled me in on some details. What were you doing in that park? Where do you really live? And why'd you run away? Nothing at all? Well, I'm not gonna push, but...
What's the point? What will knowing get you?
It's not about getting anything. It's just... I can't offer you advice or help you fix anything if I don't know what the problem is.
I didn't leave looking for advice, nor do I want you to try to fix anything.
1 second, I'm adjusting my filter is like crooked. Well, that's about the response I expected. Okay then, I promise I'll keep my nose out of your business. So tell me about yourself.
Why? What point is there to you knowing anything about me?
Because obviously, by getting to know you, I can get closer to you. There doesn't need to be any more point to that. I want to know more about you. Simple as that. Oh, Christ, just thinking about it makes me want to throw up. Who even talks like that? With a sigh, she fell silent, and I couldn't bring myself to press any further. So instead, I was going to tell her to forget it, that she didn't have to say anything if she didn't want to, when she muttered a single word almost under her breath.
Morgana.
Huh? I didn't catch that.
My name. It's Morgana. I hadn't told you yet, had I?
Hi, honey. Hi, Morgana. Oh, wow. So your name's Morgana, huh? That's a good, strong name. Sounds Italian, too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. My mother is French, and I've lived in France all my life. However...
She hesitated. I urged her on with a look, and after a few moments, she reluctantly continued.
My father's never been in my life. Not as far back as my memories go, at least. So there's a chance he may be, but I don't know.
I see. And do you ever want to meet your father?
I'm not sure. He's essentially a stranger, so I have no real emotional attachment to him. In fact, never mind.
She fell silent once again, leaving the in fact hanging in the air. I gave her another I see and didn't press the subject any further. I did, however, feel like I'd gotten a glimpse into where her isolation came from. Well, it's a small damn world, huh? You made fun of me for not being an Italian stereotype, but you don't exactly fit the part either, do you?
Oh, be quiet. I know I don't. Why do you seem so happy about it, though?
It's not that. It's just realizing we may have walked the same paths, seen the same views. I feel a little sense of kinship.
I thought you didn't like Italy. You were complaining about how there's nothing there.
Huh? You've got a good memory. It's true that I don't like dealing with family stuff back home. It's all a huge pain to navigate. But the scenery can be quite nice. I know I said there's nothing there, but I do still fondly remember seeing the beautiful nature on that island. Ocean as far as the eye can see. I rather liked that. And then there was this golden wheat field. I had no idea where it was anymore. Or wait, maybe the field was just in my dreams, not anywhere back home. Forget it. The point is, there's some gorgeous scenery there.
That sounds nice. I'd like to see it for myself someday, maybe.
And you can. It's not even a 3-hour flight from here. The only limit to where you can go these days is your imagination. Hell, I could take you there myself if you want.
What? You would take me?
Try not to overthink that. I just mean, I imagine your understanding of the world is very limited. Stepping out beyond your own sphere is a valuable life experience, and something I think might be good to expose you to. Oh, did I upset her?
Oh, so you want to help me experience new things? Well, I suppose I can look into it.
What is there to look into? That said, that's still much more receptive than she would have been yesterday, so we're making progress. I think I even caught her smiling a little. She looks so much better with a smile on her face. I'd love to get a better look at one that lasts more than a split second sometime.
Why are you staring at me? Is there something on my face?
Nah, you always look so dour. I was just thinking about how it'd be nice if you smiled a little more. You wouldn't be so unpleasant to look at.
What? I can't believe you insensitive brute.
God, why am I so incapable of just saying what I think? A little bit later, Maria returned with 2 sandwiches. The one she set in front of Morgana was at least 2 times too large for a light afternoon meal. Morgana stared at the triumphant stack of meats and cheeses and vegetables, unsure what to do with it. Meanwhile, all I received was a simple panino, containing nothing but a few slices of ham and cheese. I considered filing a complaint, but Morgana ended up giving me what she couldn't eat of hers, at which point I stopped caring enough to feel slighted. The cafe remained empty all through lunch. On some level, it was kind of a shame, because the food wasn't bad, but it also meant we could talk with Maria, since she didn't have anyone to wait on. As a dining establishment, it was indisputably a failure, but it couldn't have been a more perfect location for us. Time seemed to pass faster than it should have, as the 3 of us talked. Morgana didn't speak as much, but she never once seemed bored, sometimes even giving a little laugh at something Maria said. And then the next thing I realized, the sunlight shining through the window had turned orange. Never before had I spent so much time in a cafe. Usually I only stayed long enough to inhale some caffeine or calories. The very idea of relaxing seemed like a negligent misuse of time to me. Relatable. But this was probably how you were supposed to patronize these sorts of establishments. So relaxed and refreshed, we decided it was time to head home. As we got up to leave, Maria gave me a disappointed pout and said,
Come on, you don't have to go. Come back again soon, okay? I guarantee there won't be anyone else here.
She gave us a little wave, and then we headed out. I hoped business would pick up a bit, if only because it seemed like Maria was going to die from boredom before long. With that, our sightseeing tour came to an end. We went to take care of our original goal, shopping. I took Morgana to a moderately large supermarket near my apartment. She was astounded by the wide array of products sold. Apparently, she'd never been in one before, which only added to my concern about what kind of life she'd led. That maybe she just lived somewhere really rural that didn't have big stores, and there wasn't anything more to it. I asked Morgana what she wanted for dinner, but all she gave me was a non-committal anything. Then I asked if she had any favorite foods, to which she responded with, "I'll eat anything." It was easier to cook for someone if they gave you something to work with. Evidently, though, she wasn't just being shy and genuinely had no wants or preferences. Add that to how thin she was and how little she seemed to eat, and I began wondering if she had ever had a proper home-cooked meal. Sorry, trigger finger. She obviously wasn't the dieting type either. In fact, when Maria had brought her that oversized sandwich, she tried to force herself to finish it. She gave off the impression of a nun who lived her entire life cut off from earthly pleasures. Or perhaps a saint, forbidden from indulging in worldly desires. I hope that one day I might be able to hear her express some kind of desire. Be it something she wanted, some food she craved, or some activity she was interested in. When we were done at the market, we went to the bookstore to buy some movies. However, most of what they had on the shelves was of the top 10 bestsellers variety. I wasn't interested in mass market fluff it myself. I would have preferred something literary or artistic, or even educational like a documentary. But I knew I wasn't going to find that at a common neighborhood bookstore. Being mass market didn't automatically make a film bad, mind you. It required great talent to write and direct something capable of resonating with so many people. Lots of careful consideration had to go into every single element of the production to ensure that it was enjoyable and understandable to everyone who saw it. It wasn't something just anyone could pick up and do. Now, that wasn't to say I didn't think Morgana could understand more challenging films. In fact, she seemed like the kind of person who wouldn't enjoy pop culture. But I also feel like what she needed right now was some time just turn off and enjoy some mindless entertainment. We watched one movie before dinner, a classic animated film, and another after, a live-action comedy. Neither were things I would watch on my own. But even at the funny parts, Morgana didn't so much as smirk. After a while, I began to feel like an idiot laughing all by myself. So when it was over, I asked her if she didn't like the movie, and...
No, I enjoyed it. I was impressed by the actors' selflessness and their attempts to make the audience laugh. The world is a better place thanks to their great sacrifices.
Her response was utterly baffling. Who watched movies for that?
Additionally, your commentary throughout the film about the actors' performances, the motifs used, and the director's past works was somewhat irritating, to be honest.
Well, I'm sorry, geez. I won't talk during a movie again, you can be sure of that. See, I'm Jacopo. I also talk during movies. He and I would get along on that point.
It was rather annoying, but also, it's kind of fun to learn things I don't know. I'm ignorant about everything. I don't know what's out there. What's fun, what things which people have made and done. So teach me. You know these sorts of things, don't you? Then you can share some of that knowledge with me.
Morgana was staying at my apartment tonight as well. Once again using one of my shirts as oversized loungewear. When I mentioned regretting not buying her clothes of her own, she said,
I don't mind the shirt. It's perfectly functional. It would be a waste of money to buy something new.
A couple of sets of loungewear weren't going to break the bank, but I quickly found myself relenting. That I was even bothered was proof of how much of a disgrace I was.
Besides, you promised you wouldn't touch me without permission. So even if it isn't a perfect fit, I have nothing to worry about.
Christ, this girl was devilish.
If I truly am, then I have a father somewhere. One night, I overheard my mother muttering something. At the time, I assumed it was just a dream, but if what she said was true, my father was a mere vagrant. A man whose face I never once saw, whose name I never heard. frankly, I'm not sure. I wouldn't know what to say even if I did. He might not even know I exist. It didn't sound like he had any interest in staying with my mother, which does not speak particularly well of his character. If he had chosen to stay instead of abandoning her, then she wouldn't have had to lie about having a virgin birth. Maybe we could have even been a normal family, and the entire course of my life could have been different. Why is that your first reaction? You're not going to hunt him down and give him a piece of your mind. No. Any form of violence is forbidden. Not even if it's for my sake. Too many people have been hurt already. Which isn't to say I don't understand what you meant when you said the world would trample all over you if you didn't have the strength to fight back. As children, we were both helpless to fight back against a cruel world. But I stand by what I said. No more. I once believed you to be a weak man, but I realized I was mistaken. I now know you have more than enough strength, enough to take the lives of countless men. Some part of me always knew, but that's all the more reason. I don't want you to hurt anyone else ever again, to take any more lives. I will have no choice but to deem you utterly irredeemable if you break that promise. Understood? What? No, that doesn't mean I think you presently have redeeming qualities. Have you lost your mind? Honestly, this is not the time for silly do you like me games. Don't tell me you're waiting for an answer, because you're never getting one. What? Fine. If you want to know what I think so badly. No, I don't much care for you.
I'm gonna stop here. My voice can't take anymore, and my emotions can't take anymore. Dang, we might finish this next week, actually. And if that's the case, expect me to cry a lot. I'll know midweek whether, or like on Sunday-ish, whether or not we're going to be finishing this. But oh my goodness. Seeing Jacopo and Morgana together in like a normal life is, well, relatively normal life is so pleasant. It's an amazing game. You should play it yourself or watch my streams of the whole thing. There's a playlist. It's amazing. It'll change your life. For real. Everybody that I've had read it is like, this changed my life. So Sunday, we are back to Grandia 2 time. And then next week, Wednesday, might end up being, well, actually, I don't think it'll be the finale. No, it won't be the finale. No, we have 2 more streams of Reincarnation. Yes, please do. Oh my god, and let me know what you think about it. I'm always down to discuss this game. I think about it basically all the time. It's this and Ace Attorney, and they're fighting each other in my head. And then Kingdom Hearts comes in and goes, yeah, anyway, take care out there. Be safe. Be well. Eat if you haven't. Get some water. And take care of yourselves. And I will see you when I see you. And thank you very much for tuning in. This is a good game.